Chapter 1. In the 9 heavens continent, there were 9 astral rivers in the sky. Each astral river was formed by countless constellations interweaving together. These 9 astral rivers were also known as the 9 heavens. The people of the 9 heavens continent worshipped the martial Tao. From a young age, humans would use the method of meditation to sense the yuan qi of heaven and earth, cultivating and refining their qi to nourish their spirit and eventually becoming a wuxia. Humans with strong perception could, through meditation, sense the existence of the astral rivers in the 9 heavens, absorb the energy from the astral rivers, and even condense an astral soul, becoming a stellar martial cultivator. There were even more powerful people who, after becoming a stellar martial cultivator, could condense the astral energy from the astral rivers, continuously strengthening their own strength, breaking through to the martial realm, opening an astral gate, and condensing even more astral souls. According to the legends, the most powerful wuxia in the 9 heavens continent, every time he broke through to the next level, he would be able to open an astral gate, and from there, he would be able to condense an astral soul from the 9 heavens. Chu Country, Sky Harmony City, by Clan. Autumn Snow's forehead was filled with perspiration, as though she was in extreme pain. However, she still gritted her teeth and persevered. Under the night sky, the astral light unceasingly shone on Autumn Snow's body, illuminating her soft and beautiful figure, as well as her snow-white skin, which was faintly discernible due to her perspiration. However, at this moment, Qin Wentian wasn't in the mood to appreciate this beautiful scene. Guard your heart, the pain is but a thought. Empty your mind, imagine yourself to be a beautiful fairy, soaring through the 9 astral rivers, admiring the beautiful scenery of the astral rivers. As for the pain, it's just a dream. Qin Wentian's voice was gentle, as the wind blew into Autumn Snow's ears, causing her body to tremble slightly. When Autumn Snow's body gradually calmed down, Qin Wentian took out 9 silver needles, and pierced them into Autumn Snow's head. Ah! Bai Qing, who was standing beside him, almost cried out in shock upon seeing this scene. She covered her mouth with her dainty hands as she stared at Qin Wentian's crazy actions, before glancing at her sister Autumn Snow. Draw the power of the stars into your body, circulate it through your meridians, and seal the star door. Qin Wentian's voice was like a dream, drifting into Autumn Snow's ears, causing the astral energy to be absorbed into her body unceasingly. Return to emptiness. You are now a body of consciousness. Find a star you like and fuse your consciousness with it. Qin Wentian's voice was laced with a hypnotic power. Slowly, a shadow formed above Autumn Snow's head. It was the image of a golden crane spreading its wings, full of curves and beauty. Bai Qing's beautiful eyes widened. This was the shadow of an astral soul. Her elder sister was really about to condense an astral soul. From now on, you will have to depend on yourself. Qin Wentian silently mused. The immature face of the youth was filled with a heavy expression. Astral light radiated from Autumn Snow's body. Finally, the cry of a crane rang out as the golden crane solidified. A terrifying astral energy gushed out from it as Autumn Snow's beautiful eyes opened, shining as bright as the stars in the night sky. Success! Bai Qing was so happy that she jumped up in joy. After which, she hugged Qin Wentian as she incoherently exclaimed, "Wentian Gage, I really succeeded." As she spoke, she impolitely planted a kiss on Qin Wentian's face. A radiant smile appeared in Qin Wentian's eyes, as he radiated an aura of innocence and innocence. The solemnity he had earlier was nowhere to be seen. Which heavenly layer? Qin Wentian smiled as he looked at his fiancée. The 3rd heavenly layer. Autumn Snow also smiled. Her smile was extremely radiant and beautiful. Autumn Snow was 16 years old this year, and was one of the 4 great beauties of the Sky Harmony City. The 3rd heavenly layer. Elder sister managed to condense an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer on your first try. Doesn't that mean that in the future, you'll be able to condense your second and third astral souls easily. That's great, I'll go tell father about this. Bai Qing was even happier than her elder sister. There's no need. A middle-aged man walked over from afar. This man was none other than Autumn Snow and Bai Qing's father, Bai Qingsong. Both of his hands trembled slightly as he smiled at Autumn Snow. Autumn Snow, it's been hard on you. Father, if it wasn't for Wentian Gidge, elder sister wouldn't have been able to condense an astral soul. Bai Qing mumbled. Only then did Bai Qingsong glance at Qin Wentian as he smiled. Wentian, it's been hard on you today. You should rest early, Autumn Snow and I will take our leave first. Okay, Uncle Bai. Qin Wentian replied with a smile. Ever since the marriage agreement between the Qin and Bai clan was made 3 years ago, Bai Qingsong would often invite him to stay at the Bai clan's residence. Bai Qingsong was an amiable person, and treated him extremely well. Little Qin, you should come with me as well. Don't disturb your Wentian Gidge anymore. Bai Qingsong said to Bai Qing, only to see Bai Qing sticking out her tongue. Why didn't father force me to call him brother-in-law today? I'll stay here and chat with Wentian Gidge. You and elder sister can leave first. Bai Qingsong glanced at Bai Qing, before nodding his head and leaving together with Autumn Snow. Elder sister's first astral soul has already condensed an astral soul from the third heavenly layer. Father will definitely go to the clan for a meeting with the elders. I'm not willing to go. Bai Qing grinned as she watched Bai Qingsong leave. Wentian Gidge, I didn't believe it in the past, but I didn't expect you to actually succeed. Previously, you didn't allow elder sister to absorb the yuan qi of heaven and earth, and also didn't allow her to condense an astral soul in advance. Could it be that you were waiting for today? After absorbing the yuan qi of heaven and earth, the yuan qi of heaven and earth would be stored in the meridians and acupoints of the body. That way, the chances of condensing an astral soul would be much lower. Qin Wentian lay on the ground, staring at the constellations in the sky. The majority of people would absorb the yuan qi of heaven and earth while comprehending the astral souls. This way, even if they couldn't become a stellar martial cultivator, it wouldn't affect Wuxia's cultivation. But Wentian Gidge, your method is to insist on condensing an astral soul no matter what. Isn't this way too risky? If you fail to become a stellar martial cultivator, your cultivation would be delayed. Bai Qing sat beside Qin Wentian as she explained. Qing, how many types of astral souls have you heard of? Qin Wentian asked. Very few. In the Sky Harmony City, there aren't many people who have condensed an astral soul. What about you, Wentian Gidge? In the 9 heavenly layers of the Milky Way, there are countless constellations, and each constellation corresponds to an astral soul. Condensing the lion astral soul will allow you to possess the strength of a ferocious beast, allowing you to easily tear apart tigers and leopards. Condensing the heavenly eyes astral soul will allow you to increase your vision and perception, allowing you to see further, allowing your perception to be stronger during combat. Condensing the forging astral soul will allow you to become a powerful blacksmith. Condensing the great dream astral soul will allow you to cultivate in your dreams, allowing you to cause others to fall into a dreamscape, and so on. Cultivating in a dreamscape, allowing people to dream, how mystical. Bai Qing murmured. The continent is extremely vast, and I've heard that in the outside world, there are many powerful cultivators who have condensed different types of astral souls. They are omnipotent, and only stellar martial cultivators are the rulers of this continent. For an ordinary Wuxia, he's like an ant. If he can't become a stellar martial cultivator, he might as well not cultivate at all. Qin Wentian's eyes flickered with a fiery light. He definitely had to become a powerful stellar martial cultivator, condense different types of astral souls, and go out into the world to see the world. Uncle Black had once said that Sky Harmony City was too small. In front of the continent, it was like an ant. But, I've heard that. Bai Qing hesitated. I've heard that I have crippled meridians, and am unable to cultivate. Qin Wentian smiled as he sat up. Who said that I have crippled meridians? I will definitely become a stellar martial cultivator. Seeing the confident smile on Qin Wentian's face, Bai Qing also smiled sweetly. I also believe in Wentian Gij. In that case, I'll take my leave first. I don't want to disturb Wentian Gij from becoming a stellar martial cultivator. Emichim, go ahead. Remember to rest early, and don't absorb the yuan qi of heaven and earth. Qin Wentian reminded. Got it. Bai Qing stuck her tongue out at Qin Wentian, before jogging away. Looking at the graceful back view of Bai Qing, Qin Wentian discovered that unknowingly, this little lass had already grown up. At the age of 15, she was already slender and elegant, and was no longer the little lass he knew 3 years ago. A pure smile appeared on Qin Wentian's face. After Bai Qing left, Qin Wentian began his cultivation. He closed his eyes, entering into a state of meditation. In Qin Wentian's body, the meridians within his body were almost completely shattered. However, he didn't seem to mind it at all. He guided the astral energy into his body, circulating it around his broken meridians. The violent astral energy from the astral light unceasingly gushed into his weak meridians, as though wanting to completely shatter them. In an instant, Qin Wentian's countenance was filled with agony. This kind of pain was more than 10 times what autumn snow had endured. However, he still gritted his teeth and endured it. The meridians were distributed throughout the human body, connecting it to the rest of the body. If the meridians were shattered, it was equivalent to a cripple, an incomplete body. Those who cultivated the martial path had to unceasingly widen their meridians, and even after reaching the body refinement realm, they still had to reconstruct their meridians, forming a total of 9 major meridians, 7 major apertures, 5 viscera and 6 bowels, 4 limbs, and 100 bones. When Qin Wentian's meridians were first destroyed, he almost became a cripple. However, Uncle Black used medicinal herbs to cleanse his body, preventing him from becoming a cripple. In addition, Qin Wentian trained his body every day without fail, allowing him to possess the physique of an ordinary person. However, Qin Wentian's goal wasn't to shatter his meridians. According to the records of the astral meridians, only by shattering the meridians would one be able to form the most perfect stellar meridians. Chapter 2. The morning air was exceptionally fresh. Qin Wentian had meditated for an entire night and felt refreshed. He woke up early in the morning to jog. He didn't absorb the yuan qi from heaven and earth to cultivate, so his physique was weak. Hence, he used the most primitive method to temper his body. The servants of the Bai clan would see Qin Wentian every morning. Initially, they felt that it was strange, but gradually, they got used to it. Son-in-law couldn't cultivate, and couldn't even become an ordinary wuxia. Hence, he hoped to use jogging to step into the first level of the body refinement realm. This was undoubtedly the ravings of a lunatic. The servants of the Bai clan all looked down on Qin Wentian. If it wasn't for his good fortune of being the young master of the Qin clan, their clan lord would never have chosen such a useless son-in-law. I heard that eldest miss became a stellar martial cultivator last night. I wonder if this marriage can still be preserved. From afar, the servants whispered to each other as they watched Qin Wentian jogging. Yeah, the Yi clan lord called for a meeting of the upper echelons of the clan, and at the same time, spread the news that eldest miss could condense an astral soul from the 3rd astral river. Even among stellar martial cultivators, she could be considered an absolute genius. Isn't that so? Humans are born with an astral gate that can store astral souls. But without talent, it's impossible to condense one. But now, eldest miss can already sense the constellations from the 3rd heavenly layer. In the future, when she breaks through to the 9th level of the body refinement realm and steps into the arterial circulation realm, she would be able to condense her 2nd astral soul easily. At the very least, it would be from the 3rd heavenly layer. How powerful, If she could open another astral gate in the future, not only that, the amount of energy contained within the constellations from the third heavenly layer is much greater compared to the first heavenly layer, and the condensed astral souls would be even more powerful. TSK, looks like that Trash's status is in danger. What they didn't know was that these words were transmitted into the ears of Qin Wentian. He had been meditating for many years, and his perception was extraordinary. He could even hear the tiniest of sounds. However, he didn't care about these rumors. He and Qiushue had known each other for 3 years, and the two of them were like family. Even if Qiushue didn't like him, it didn't matter. When the time comes, the two clans could discuss and cancel the marriage. 7 days later, it will be Uncle White's 50th birthday. I shall condense an astral soul on that day as a gift to Uncle White. Qin Wentian smiled as he thought of this. Everyone thought that he was born with crippled meridians and was unable to cultivate, but in reality, they didn't know that it was Uncle Black who had forced him to cripple his own meridians. He had never doubted Uncle Black's words, he had already used Uncle Black's teachings to help Qiushue condense an astral soul. However, Uncle Black had never allowed Qin Wentian to mention his name in front of outsiders. Before he knew it, Qin Wentian had arrived at the courtyard where Bai Qingsong lived. He couldn't help but stop in his tracks. Wentian. A voice drifted over, only to see Bai Qingsong's silhouette walking out. Staring at Qin Wentian, he asked, running again? Yes. Qin Wentian nodded. How is Qiushue? I want to see her. Wentian, it's fine even if you can't cultivate. Don't make things too difficult for yourself. Bai Qingsong didn't reply to Qin Wentian's question. Instead, he continued to speak to himself, causing Qin Wentian to freeze for a moment before he smiled. I will do my best. There's no need to force yourself. Actually, it's not a bad choice to be an ordinary person, start a family, and live a peaceful life. Bai Qingsong continued, causing Qin Wentian to stiffen. He stared at Bai Qingsong, feeling that he was somewhat unfamiliar with him. Okay. A smile appeared on Qin Wentian's face as he said, Uncle White, I'll be leaving first. Go, don't run around recklessly for the next few days. Bai Qingsong faintly spoke. After which, Qin Wentian left. In the next 2 days, Qin Wentian didn't see Bai Qingsong again, nor did he see Autumn Snow again. But the news of Autumn Snow becoming a genius had already spread throughout the entire Sky Harmony city. On the 3rd day, after Qin Wentian had finished his morning meditation, he discovered that there were 2 guards outside his courtyard. As he walked out, the 2 guards blocked his path. This scene caused Qin Wentian's heart to pound. His countenance instantly changed as he coldly asked, what is the meaning of this? It's very chaotic outside. Young Master Qin, it's better for you to obediently stay here for the next few days. One of the guards coldly replied, causing Qin Wentian's heart to sink. In the past, everyone in the Bai clan would respectfully address him as son-in-law. But at this moment, the other party was actually speaking to him in such a cold tone. What Qin Wentian cared about wasn't the title of son-in-law. Rather, it was their attitude. What's going on? Qin Wentian felt a chill run down his spine. Ever since the day he helped Autumn Snow to awaken her astral soul, he felt as though everything had changed. Young Master Qin, you don't have to worry about this. Just stay here. Impudent. Qin Wentian berated, I want to see Uncle Bai. One of the guards coldly smiled as he stared at Qin Wentian. Trash, I'll say it again. Just stay here. Do you really think that you're the son-in-law of the Bai clan? Qin Wentian's heart sank to the bottom of the valley. He wasn't an idiot, how could he not know what was going on? He was under house arrest. Thinking back to what Uncle Bai had said to him, he knew that the Bai clan wanted to break off this engagement. Uncle Bai, if you don't wish to fulfill this engagement, you can just tell me directly. Qin Wentian murmured in his heart. Could it be that everything that happened in the past 3 years was all an act? Qin Wentian knew that the Bai clan and Qin clan had set this engagement because they wanted to borrow the power of the Qin clan. But even so, why did the Bai clan dare to treat him like this today? All of you, shut up. A berating voice drifted over. Qin Wentian inclined his head, only to see Bai Qing jogging over, pulling Qin Wentian along as they entered the room. Wentian Gage. Bai Qing's eyes were red, as though there were tears in them. She stared at Qin Wentian. Wentian Gage, my Bai clan has let you down. I don't understand. Qin Wentian continued, Qin I want to see your father. If he isn't willing, I can ask my foster father to sit down and discuss with him. I, Qin Wentian, as well as the Qin clan, will not force you. Wentian Gage, my father, the Bai clan, they might want to kill you. Tears flowed down Bai Qing's face as her voice trembled. Her words were like a bolt from the blue, blasting into Qin Wentian's heart, causing him to be stunned. Kill him? Why? Qin Wentian was at a loss, he didn't understand. Don't ask why. Wentian Gage, quickly leave. Bai Qing's eyes were filled with tears. Qin Wentian was silent for a moment before he replied, I'm already under house arrest, how can I leave? I've prepared a horse for you at the back door. Quickly use me as a hostage. Bai Qing retrieved a dagger and passed it to Qin Wentian, causing Qin Wentian's countenance to stiffen. Clan leader. Outside, a voice drifted over, followed by the sounds of many footsteps, causing Bai Qing's countenance to turn pale. Wentian Gage, quickly. Qing tell me the reason. Qin Wentian stared at Bai Qing, as Bai Qing hurriedly replied, after elder sister became a genius, the news spread to the Chu country. The Yi clan of the Chu country expressed their intentions to form a marriage alliance. The Yi clan of the Chu country. Qin Wentian's heart turned even colder, the Qin clan is the mortal enemy of the Qin clan. Hence, the Bai clan wants to use my life to express their stance, to sever all ties with the Qin clan and form a marriage alliance with the Yi clan. Wentian Gage, quickly stop. Bai Qing shoved the dagger towards Qin Wentian, only to see Qin Wentian shaking his head. Caressing Bai Qing's face, a gentle smile appeared on his face, no matter how useless I, Qin Wentian, am, how can I point a dagger at you? The door was pushed open, and Bai Qing's countenance instantly turned as white as paper. Bai Qing, come here. A cold voice drifted out, as Bai Qingsong icily commanded. No, father, it's because of Wentian Gage that elder sister was able to condense an astral soul from the third heavenly layer. Why must she repay kindness with enmity? Bai Qing roared at Bai Qingsong. Your elder sister's talent is astonishing, and she managed to condense an astral soul from the third heavenly layer on her own. Since when did she need his help? Bai Qingsong stared at Bai Qing, as he continued, Qing you're still immature. Listen to your father and come back. Qing go. Qin Wentian smiled at Bai Qing, causing Bai Qing's countenance to stiffen. Wentian Gage. Remember what I've taught you. Qin Wentian patted Bai Qing's head, as he pushed her back to Bai Qingsong's side. After which, he turned his gaze onto Bai Qingsong, Uncle Bai, how do you intend to deal with me? Qin Wentian, not only are you a trash, your conduct is also improper. You actually have improper intentions towards my daughter. Tell me, how should I deal with you? The current Bai Qingsong made Qin Wentian feel incomparably foreign to him. Qin Wentian smiled, as his heart had already died. Staring at Bai Qingsong, he asked, I want to know, what is Autumn Snow's stance on this matter? There's no need for you to know. Bai Qingsong coldly replied, as a faint killing intent radiated from him. Today, as long as I die in the Bai clan, no matter what the reason is, I dare to guarantee that my foster father will definitely lead his army to raze the Bai clan to the ground. Qin Wentian abruptly shouted, as he stared at Bai Qingsong with no fear in his eyes. In an instant, the gentle youth's face was filled with determination. "Uncle Bai, before your Bai clan has the strength to stand against the Qin clan, I advise you not to touch me." Bai Qingsong stared into Qin Wentian's eyes. Evidently, he was taken aback as well. This gentle youth had changed so quickly. After a long moment of silence, he turned and walked out of the courtyard. As he commanded, "Bring the second miss back. Don't let her take even half a step outside. Qin Wentian, you are not allowed to step out of this courtyard." Chapter 3. Seeing the departure of Bai Qingsong and the rest, Qin Wentian felt as cold as winter. In the span of a single night, an unforeseen event had occurred. The kind and amiable Uncle Bai had actually brought people to kill him. Even though Qin Wentian's temperament was extraordinary, at this moment, he still felt numb in his heart, unable to calm down. Finally, Qin Wentian drew in a deep breath, as that radiant smile once again appeared on that immature and clean face of his. So what if human emotions were cold or warm? He only needed to be himself. Didn't his foster father treat him with kindness as heavy as a mountain? And there was also Bai Qing. She didn't hesitate to betray her father to warn him of the danger. However, Qin Wentian didn't have the luxury of time to think about such things. What he needed to do now was to extricate himself from the predicament he was in. Qin Wentian sat cross-legged, glanced at the stone hanging on his neck, and said, "Old fogey, Uncle Black said that you only left this broken stone for me. Don't drag me there so early." As he spoke, Qin Wentian retrieved 9 silver needles and pierced them into his head. After which, he closed his eyes and focused on his heart. Casting aside everything else, he entered a state of emptiness, imagining himself as a vessel. Very quickly, he could sense the existence of the yuan qi of heaven and earth as well as astral energy. This was the effect of the state of meditation. And to sense the strength of the astral energy and heaven and earth yuan qi, it depended on one's perception of the astral energy. Qin Wentian's perception of the astral energy was exceedingly strong. Other than the fact that he was born with an innate talent, Qin Wentian had also trained hard day after day. Although it was daytime, he was still able to quickly enter a meditative state, guiding the astral energy within his body to circulate through his body. At this moment, the meridians in Qin Wentian's body had already been completely shattered. However, he didn't seem to care. He continued to circulate the astral energy within his body until night fell, and the astral light enveloped Qin Wentian's body. Qin Wentian imagined the existence of another passageway. His perception flowed along this passageway, continuously rising upwards. This type of self-hypnosis was also taught to him by Uncle Black. Sometimes, humans needed to rely on self-hypnosis in order to obtain a stronger will. As his perception rose higher, Qin Wentian clearly felt a faint pressure bearing down on him. However, this wasn't sufficient to obstruct him. Very swiftly, Qin Wentian felt that he was already standing in the middle of an endless constellation. He had arrived at the first astral river. Every time he came here, Qin Wentian's heart would tremble violently. The astral rivers in the 9 heavenly layers were incomparably resplendent. Standing here, he felt how tiny and insignificant he was, like a drop of water in the vast ocean. Jinx! Qin Wentian sensed a star beside him. It was in the shape of a broom. It was a jinx. The weeping willow star. If I can condense an astral soul from it, I might be able to make my body incomparably soft. Water snake star, heavenly zither star. Qin Wentian drew in a deep breath. As long as he willed it, he would be able to condense an astral soul from any of the constellations. Even so, he still chose to give up on that thought. His perception continued to drift upwards, passing through the first heavenly river, then the second heavenly river, and finally, Qin Wentian arrived at the third heavenly layer. The pressure he felt grew greater and greater. He was no longer able to freely choose his astral soul from the first heavenly layer. However, if others were to know of his current situation, they would definitely praise him as a celestial being. He had no idea how strong his perception had become. Autumn Snow had condensed an astral soul from the third heavenly layer, and now, her name had already shaken the entire Chu country. The astral souls from the third heavenly layer obviously contain an even greater amount of energy compared to the astral souls from the second heavenly layer. I should continue to ascend, this is still not the limit. Qin Wenqian's perception continued to drift upwards. He could feel the pressure on his perception growing stronger and stronger, as though it was about to push his perception back. His head was starting to throb in pain, but he still gritted his teeth and persisted. Pain is but a thought. Empty your mind and the pain will pass in a dream. Qin Wenqian arrived at the fourth heavenly layer. The amount of energy contained within the constellations here caused him to feel an intense urge to condense an astral soul. As long as he willed it, he might be able to become an unprecedented genius in the Chu country. Uncle Black had once prepared many information regarding the constellations in the fifth heavenly layer for me. From this, one could see how much hope he had for me. Qin Wenqian gritted his teeth as his perception continued to drift upwards. Condensing an astral soul from an astral soul is extremely difficult. Other than talent, one must also have great willpower. Qin Wenqian told himself. Enduring the pain of his head swelling, he continued to soar upwards. Finally, he passed through another astral river, and his perception arrived at the fifth heavenly layer. In front of him, there was a constellation in the shape of a skull, exuding an evil aura. Skull Constellation. Qin Wenqian swept his gaze over, and immediately shifted his perception away, drifting towards the side. Currently, he was no longer able to easily sense all the constellations in the first heavenly layer. He could only sense them one by one, and a moment later, he sensed a Leo constellation that was filled with a fiery aura. It's the Fiery Lion constellation. If I can condense an astral soul from it, I would definitely be able to obtain a tyrannical strength. Qin Wenqian pondered for a moment, but eventually gave up. He still wanted to see more constellations. After which, he sensed a gigantic hammer-shaped constellation. It was the Heavenly Hammer constellation. Heavenly Hammer constellation. Qin Wenqian thought back to the information Uncle Black had on the Heavenly Hammer constellation, and abruptly steeled his heart. He decided to gamble on it. The power of his perception frenziedly gushed towards the Heavenly Hammer constellation. Imagining himself as a consciousness, he fused with the Heavenly Hammer constellation. The swelling pain in his head grew more and more intense. Strands of astral light cascaded downwards, passing through the layers of astral rivers, landing on Qin Wenqian, who was in the midst of cultivating. The astral light enveloped his body, but it didn't directly rush into Qin Wenqian's body. Instead, it gathered on the stone on Qin Wenqian's neck. At this moment, the terrifying astral light shone onto the stone. This ordinary stone abruptly emitted a terrifying radiance as it slowly disintegrated, merging into Qin Wenqian's skin, until it completely disappeared. At this moment, only then did the astral light truly shine onto Qin Wenqian's body, as it converged bit by bit. The immense amount of astral energy was extremely tyrannical. The shadow of the Heavenly Hammer constellation appeared on Qin Wenqian's body. His head was in so much pain that it felt as though it was about to explode. Gritting his teeth, sounds of grinding could be heard, but he still persisted. He allowed the astral energy to flow through his broken meridians, forming a circulation vortex. At the same time, he desperately tried to condense his astral soul. Only by doing so, could he be considered a true stellar martial cultivator. Rumble. A humming sound rang out from within Qin Wenqian's body. Within his broken meridians, there seemed to be a boundless amount of astral energy rampaging about, unceasingly circulating through the heavenly cycle, gradually converging into a terrifying vortex that revolved at an insane speed. He knew that the most crucial moment had arrived. If he succeeded, his transformation would be completed. This sort of inhuman pain was extremely difficult to endure. What was even more terrifying was that Qin Wentian still had to multitask, condense his astral soul, and form a complete meridian channel. Pain will pass in a dream. Qin Wentian's heart was incomparably resolute. The terrifying vortex in his body actually opened up a pathway for astral energy to circulate throughout his entire body. It was as though it had completely opened up, transforming into a unique astral meridian channel. At the same time, the shadow of the heavenly hammer gradually solidified. Fresh blood seeped out from the corners of Qin Wentian's mouth, and finally, he spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, before fainting on the ground. At the same time that Qin Wentian fainted, outside of the Bai clan, in a clear breeze Mustang stood in front of the window, with the shadow of his astral soul hovering above his head. This astral soul was a pair of heavenly eyes, one of Mustang's 3 astral souls. What a powerful beam of astral energy. If Autumn Snow's talent is really this high, she would have definitely passed the test. Mustang sighed in his heart as he retracted his astral soul. That beam of astral energy earlier, at the very least, originated from the 3rd heavenly layer. And in the Bai clan, other than Autumn Snow, he had never heard of anyone else being able to condense an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer. Stretching his body, Mustang went to rest. After hearing that Autumn Snow of the Sky Harmony City had condensed an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer, a large number of experts from the royal capital of Chu came over for the test. Among these experts, Mustang was one of them. However, Mustang wasn't worried that the other experts would snatch Autumn Snow away from him, because he was from the Emperor Star Academy. Chapter 4. Qin Wentian woke up in the middle of the night. Shaking his head, he suddenly felt his heart tightening. My astral soul. Qin Wentian seemed to have thought of something as he abruptly closed his eyes, entering into a meditative state. In the next instant, a dazzling shadow of a heavenly hammer appeared above Qin Wentian's head. It was incomparably resplendent, as though it was formed from the interweaving light of the constellations. Success. Since it's an astral soul awakened from the heavenly hammer constellation, let's just call it the heavenly hammer astral soul. Now, I need a cultivation art that's compatible with my astral soul. Qin Wentian mumbled to himself. However, at this moment, his brows furrowed. Within his sea of consciousness, it was as though specks of astral light had appeared. What's that? Qin Wentian's perception sunk into his sea of consciousness. Within his sea of consciousness, there was also the shadow of the heavenly hammer astral soul, occupying the astral gate. However, at this moment, behind the shadow, there was actually a tiny astral being floating there, emanating a faintly discernible astral energy, as though it had locked onto the heavenly hammer astral soul. Qin Wentian's heart trembled. Why would there be a tiny astral being in his sea of consciousness? Could it be? Qin Wentian suddenly recalled something. Yesterday, there seemed to be a change in his chest. When he turned his head to look at his chest, there was only a string there. The stone that was tied there had disappeared. The stone left behind by that damned old fogey. Qin Wentian's countenance stiffened. At this moment, the astral being's shadow astral soul was completely released. The specks of astral light seemed to explode within Qin Wentian's sea of consciousness. With a rumbling sound, Qin Wentian's memories abruptly flowed into Qin Wentian's sea of consciousness, causing Qin Wentian to feel a piercing pain in his head. The astral light emanating from the tiny astral being dimmed, until there was no longer any signs of life. 1000 tempering 100 refinement art, this is a memory type cultivation art. That tiny astral being actually had a memory type cultivation art hidden within it. After sensing the existence of an astral soul, a memory type cultivation art appeared. Qin Wentian's heart pounded. The memories of the memory type cultivation art appeared in his sea of consciousness. Wuxia absorbed the yuan qi of heaven and earth, and used this cultivation art to temper his fleshly body, strengthening his bones and muscles, cleansed his meridians, and cleansed his internal organs. This was the first realm of Wuxia. The body realm of the body. The body refinement realm was split into 9 levels. When one's body was perfected, and after the meridians were cleansed, one would be able to use their tyrannical inner yuan energy to stimulate the acupoints in the body, connecting all the meridians in the body, forming a complete arterial pathway, allowing one's blood to flow smoothly. Boundless energy would circulate through the meridians, allowing one's innate techniques to unleash boundless might. This was the arterial circulation realm. Wu of body realm, Wu, the realm of. And at the arterial circulation realm, Wu would be able to unleash the power of various innate techniques. After that, there was the incomparably tyrannical Yuanfu realm. At this realm, the Yuanfu realm would be able to condense a vast amount of yuan qi into droplets, and open up a Yuanfu within the body. This Yuanfu would contain a terrifying amount of energy, and one's strength would be incomparably tyrannical. For stellar martial cultivators, when they condense an astral soul, they would be able to absorb astral energy and absorb it into their body. Not only that, their yuan qi would be bestowed with the attribute of the astral soul. For example, if one had a lion astral soul, the energy within their body would be as tyrannical as that of a lion. When they struck out with the same astral soul, the might of their attacks would be multiplied by several folds. Not only that, when they used their astral soul, the might of their attacks would be even stronger. Hence, in the 9 heavens continent, stellar martial cultivators were the revered ones. Ordinary cultivation arts would use gravity to temper the body, causing the body to suffer. But this 1000 tempering 100 refinement art is even more tyrannical. It's like self-torture, tempering one's body thousands and thousands of times, breaking through the limits. Qin Wentian carefully comprehended, as his heart pounded. After which, he stood up and walked outside, arriving at the training grounds in the backyard. Drawing in a deep breath, Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared at the boundless constellations in the heavenly dome, as a smile appeared on his face. Now that he had condensed his astral soul, he could finally store the astral energy within his body and embark on the path of cultivation. Closing his eyes, Qin Wentian released his astral souls. After which, his perception reached all the way to the 5th heavenly layer, forming an innate link with his constellation. Instantly, the heavenly hammer constellation in the 5th heavenly layer manifested. Tyrannical astral energy cascaded downwards, landing onto Qin Wentian's body. His entire body was covered in a layer of astral light, and at this moment, Qin Wentian could clearly feel how tyrannical the astral energy was. The amount of astral energy that descended from the 5th heavenly layer wasn't something that the astral energy from the 1st or 2nd heavenly layer could compare to. After a long period of time, the amount of astral energy stored within Qin Wentian's body had reached a saturation point. He began to circulate the 1000 tempering 100 refinement art, and instantly, numerous astral hammers appeared within his body, madly smashing against his body. Just by absorbing the astral energy from the astral constellations, it was impossible to achieve the effect of body tempering. Only by relying on the astral energy absorbed from the astral constellations would one be able to strengthen their body and achieve the effect of body tempering. So painful. Instantly, beads of perspiration appeared on Qin Wentian's forehead, as faint humming sounds could be heard from within his body. The tyrannical astral energy frenziedly slammed into his body. This kind of pain was extremely difficult to endure, but if one wanted to forge a perfect physique, they could only endure it endlessly. Not only that, the more tyrannical the cultivation art was, the more intense the pain would be. Arg. From the 5th heavenly layer, the astral light cascaded downwards, landing on Qin Wentian's body, as crackling sounds could be heard in the air. That was the sound of his physique undergoing a transformation. After 100 times, the unique astral meridians within Qin Wentian's body also took on the shape of a heavenly hammer. The astral energy flowed through the astral meridians, circulating around his body in an incomparably smooth manner, causing Qin Wentian to feel extremely carefree, as though he had forgotten all his fatigue. Gotcha. Qin Wentian's body occasionally emitted crackling sounds, as though all the muscles and bones in his body were trembling. Finally, after breaking through his limits a few times, he could no longer endure it. Propping himself up with one hand, he panted heavily. This 1000 tempering 100 refinement art was simply too excruciating. At this moment, he felt his entire body aching, as though it was about to fall apart. Could it be that because I've never cultivated before, my physique is weak, and my foundation is insufficient? Qin Wentian mumbled in a low voice, as he sat down cross-legged. He no longer swung his hammer, but continued to absorb the astral energy from the astral meridians. The astral energy continued to cascade downwards, as though there was no end to it. The energy of the astral meridians was originally inexhaustible. On a winter morning, the air was slightly damp. However, Qin Wentian, who was in the training grounds, didn't feel cold at all. Opening his hazy eyes, Qin Wentian stood up and stretched his bones. He could feel that his entire body was extremely smooth, without the slightest bit of soreness from yesterday. To Qin Wentian, last night was like a nightmare, but everything seemed to have passed. At this moment, Qin Wentian felt extremely refreshed, as though his entire body was brimming with energy. He had never felt so powerful before. What a strong regenerative ability, as expected of the Heavenly Hammer constellation. Qin Wentian had studied the constellations from the first to the fifth heavenly layer, and coincidentally, the Heavenly Hammer constellation was one of them. That was why he chose this constellation. The Heavenly Hammer constellation had several unique characteristics. It was strong explosiveness, strong defense, and strong regenerative abilities. Not only that, it could also be used to forge weapons, bestowing upon him a talent in forging weapons. The 1000 tempering 100 tempering technique allowed me to break through my limits a few times, stepping into the third level of the body refinement realm from paper realm in a single night. This is what my astral soul and the 1000 tempering 100 tempering technique have bestowed upon me. Let me test out how much strength I have now. Qin Wentian walked to the front of a stone block, and after gathering his strength, he smashed it downwards. A crisp sound rang out, and the stone block was directly shattered into pieces, transforming into dregs. So this is strength. How strong, a casual strike from him already exceeds the strength of 9 bulls. Qin Wentian murmured in a low voice. The strength of 9 bulls and 2 tigers could be described as extremely great, but to Wuxia, a cultivator at the third level of the body refinement realm would already possess the terrifying strength of 9 bulls. The first level of the body refinement realm would possess the strength of 1 bull, the second level would have the strength of 4 bulls, the third level would have the strength of 9 bulls, the fourth level would have the strength of 16 bulls, and if one were to reach the 9th level of the body refinement realm, it would be even more terrifying, possessing the strength of 81 bulls. This was also the reason why countless people wanted to become Wuxia. Strength. Once one became Wuxia, they would possess absolute strength. And this was only the strength of an ordinary Wuxia. For stellar martial cultivators, the astral energy in their bodies would amplify their strength, and their strength would be even more terrifying. How could Qin Wentian not be overjoyed that he had gained the strength of 9 bulls in a single night? Walking to the center of the training grounds, he prepared to continue his cultivation. The 1000 tempering 100 tempering technique, forging a strong and sturdy body, was actually very normal for Qin Wentian. The amount of astral energy contained within a constellation from the 5th heavenly layer was extremely terrifying, and in addition to the 1000 tempering 100 tempering technique, it was naturally easy for him to reconstruct his body, and his strength would soar by leaps and bounds. Now, he didn't want to waste any time at all. Staying in the Bai clan meant that he would be in danger at any moment. If he wanted to leave, he could only rely on his own strength. Most probably, his foster father still didn't know of his current predicament. Chapter 5. In the cool breeze inn, Mustang sat by the window, enjoying his wine. 3 days from now, it will be Bai Qingsong's 50th birthday. It's said that this time around, Bai Qingsong has invited all the major characters of the Chu country to attend the banquet. The guests at the other tables discussed. They had all come here in advance to watch the show. Yeah, I've also heard that a mother's status depends on her son's status. This Bai Qingsong must have basked in the glory of his daughter. However, his daughter is truly outstanding. She condensed an astral soul from the third heavenly layer on her first attempt. In the future, if she were to open the second and third astral gates, she would at least condense 3 astral souls, and all of them would be from the third heavenly layer or higher. In the Chu country, she would definitely be considered a major character. Isn't that so? I've also heard that the Bai clan is thinking of cancelling the marriage. But how can that Qin Wentian from the Qin clan be mentioned in the same breath as Autumn Snow? No matter who it is, they would definitely kick him out. It's said that that trash of a young master had wasted many yuan meteor stones of the Qin clan. I wonder why Qin Chuan dotes on him so much. Many people silently shook their heads, unable to understand this matter. At this moment, everyone suddenly shut their mouths. On the stairs of the inn, a beautiful silhouette clad in a long green dress slowly walked up. Her beauty was dignified and dignified. It was obvious that she was the daughter of an aristocratic family. Autumn Snow, the genius of the Bai clan. Someone murmured. Mustang glanced at Autumn Snow, and silently nodded his head. This little girl wasn't bad. Not only was her talent high, she was also beautiful. No wonder the Yi clan would arrange a marriage alliance with her. Mustang drank a cup of wine alone, before shifting his gaze to the direction of the Bai clan. This Bai clan was kicked out of the royal capital, and now they were rising up again. Evidently, Bai Qingsong knew how to make use of this opportunity. In a few days, things would definitely be lively. Ha! At this moment, Mustang's countenance stiffened. Because of his unique astral soul, his perception towards astral energy was extremely strong. At this moment, he could sense a powerful surge of astral energy descending from the heavens in a certain location of the Bai clan. As he thought of this, the look in Mustang's eyes abruptly changed, as though he could see through everything. Momentarily, even the orbits of the astral constellations could be seen in his eyes. Who? Mustang's heart pounded. This surge of astral energy had a high possibility of originating from the third heavenly layer. The Bai clan actually had such a demon-level talent. However, why did the Bai clan hide it and only pushed Autumn Snow out? Mustang didn't understand, but he was thinking that he would have to make a trip tonight. Qin Wentian didn't know of Mustang's existence. He was only focused on his cultivation frenziedly, tempering his body repeatedly to break through. Finally, after enduring an inhuman amount of pain, Qin Wentian's entire body emitted cracking sounds as his muscles and bones underwent a metamorphosis. A smile appeared on Qin Wentian's face. He knew that he had stepped into the 4th level of the body refinement realm. The first 3 levels of the body refinement realm tempered the muscles and bones, the second 3 levels tempered the muscles and bones, and the final 3 levels tempered the internal organs and meridians. Finally, night fell once again. Qin Wentian stopped his cultivation and walked towards the front courtyard. Based on his current situation, he believed that if he were to inform Bai Qingsong now, he might be able to change his mind. However, Qin Wentian wouldn't allow himself to be so lowly and petty. It was already sufficient for him to see through a person. Now, he only wanted to know the attitude of Autumn Snow, whom he had helped to condense her astral soul during these 3 years. 3 days later, during Bai Qingsong's birthday celebration, I must personally ask her. Qin Wentian silently thought as he walked towards the entrance of the courtyard. The 2 guards were still standing there, but of course, there were only 2 of them. Everyone knew that Qin Wentian's meridians were crippled, hence Bai Qingsong didn't pay too much attention to him. Sending 2 ordinary guards to guard a piece of trash was already a sign of their respect for him. Seeing Qin Wentian walking over, one of the guards blocked his path as he coldly stated, "Scram. Even a dog can bite people." Qin Wentian's countenance was as cold as ice, causing the guard's countenance to stiffen. He grinned, revealing a cruel expression on his face. Seems like young Master Qin has been living a carefree life, and doesn't know what his current status is. Since this is the case, I shall make young Master Qin sober up. As he spoke, his fist punched out towards Qin Wentian's head. The wind generated by his fist was tyrannical. Qin Wentian's perception was exceedingly sharp. Now that he had become a stellar martial cultivator, the speed of his opponent's attack seemed to have slowed down in his eyes. Qin Wentian dodged to the side, before leaning forward, his knee ruthlessly slamming into his opponent's abdomen. In an instant, the guard felt as though his internal organs had been shattered, as he was flung through the air, directly fainting. Emichem. The eyes of the other guard stiffened, as a cold glint of light flickered in them. This fellow wasn't even able to withstand a beating, to think that he would actually suffer such a sneak attack. Taking a step forward, he punched out with his fist, causing a gust of wind to billow out, accompanied by the faint sound of a tiger's roar. This was a foundational fist technique, the ferocious tiger fist. This time around, Qin Wentian didn't dodge. His fist similarly blasted out, akin to a ferocious iron hammer. Cracking sounds rang out, and the guard's arm was directly shattered. Before he could even scream, Qin Wentian's fist landed on his head. However, Qin Wentian managed to retract his strength in time, preventing his opponent's head from exploding. He only managed to injure him severely, causing him to faint. After doing all this, Qin Wentian dragged their corpses into a room and shut the door. A moment later, Qin Wentian donned a guard's uniform and walked out of the courtyard, stepping into the darkness. Qin Wentian was too familiar with the Bai clan. Traversing through the small paths, he tried his best to avoid the patrolling guards. After half an hour, he arrived at the entrance of the Bai clan. Lowering his head, he walked towards the entrance. The sound of footsteps echoed in the air. At this moment, Qin Wentian was extremely nervous. If he were to be caught at this moment, Bai Qingsong wouldn't let him off so easily. However, just as Qin Wentian was about to step out of the Bai clan's main gate, he heard the sound of footsteps in front of him. Involuntarily, he lowered his head even further. "What are you sneaking around for? Raise your head." A familiar cold voice drifted into Qin Wentian's ears, causing his heart to tremble. A strange smile appeared on his face. He didn't think that he would meet again at this time. Seeing Qin Wentian raise his head, Autumn Snow's body involuntarily trembled as she took a small step back. Silence. The two of them sank into silence. Qin Wentian looked at Autumn Snow, who was panicking at the start, before calming down. He seemed to have understood something, as the corners of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. "I have no choice." Autumn Snow opened her mouth. Qin Wentian only stared at her, not saying a word. He had never thought that the two of them would be in such a situation. "You've spent so many years, and have an extraordinary understanding of condensing astral souls. However, what's the use of that? You can only help others condense astral souls, while you yourself can only deceive yourself." Autumn Snow's jet-black hair danced in the wind, as though she was a fairy of the night. However, Qin Wentian wasn't in the mood to admire her beauty, as his heart turned cold. Is this the reason why the Bai clan repaid kindness with enmity? Autumn Snow didn't reply, as she continued. Yi Wuke, at the age of 13, condensed his first astral soul from the second heavenly layer. At the age of 15, he stepped into the arterial circulation realm and opened his second astral gate, condensing his second astral soul from the third heavenly layer. Currently, Yi Wuke is 18 years old, with a cultivation base at the 8th level of arterial circulation. He has hopes of stepping into the Yuanfu realm before the age of 20. You and him, one is like the heavens, the other is like the earth. Qin Wentian understood the meaning of Autumn Snow's words. The target of this marriage alliance was none other than Yi Wuke. You should leave. After all, you've helped me before. Considering our past relationship, I won't make things difficult for you. Even if you don't die, it won't affect the marriage alliance between the Bai and Yi clan. Not only that, in the future, you and I are destined to be people from two different worlds. After Autumn Snow finished speaking, she walked past Qin Wentian, as a light breeze brushed past. Qin Wentian suddenly felt that this person was a stranger, to actually speak such ridiculous words. Autumn Snow. Qin Wentian suddenly called out, causing Autumn Snow to halt her footsteps. 3 years ago, your father, Bai Qingsong, proposed a marriage alliance to my foster father. Initially, my foster father didn't want to hold you back, but Bai Qingsong persisted. Eventually, my foster father agreed. In these 3 years, my foster father provided cultivation resources to your Bai clan, allowing your Bai clan to reorganize itself. You've never been overbearing before, and I've always treated you as my kin. 5 days ago, I helped you condense an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer, yet your Bai clan still wanted to kill me. And now, you say that you're letting me go, yet you still act as though you're doing me a favor. How ironic. Qin Wentian's words were cold, as he slowly walked out. However, there's one thing you're right about. You and I are destined to be people from two different worlds. Chapter 6. The Qin residence was located in the northern part of the Sky Harmony City, about 100 miles away from the Bai clan. After leaving the Bai clan, although Qin Wentian hastened his steps, it was already daytime when he arrived at the Qin residence. Stepping on the path of martial arts, Qin Wentian's bones and muscles were extremely strong. Even after walking for an entire night, Qin Wentian didn't feel tired at all. Outside the Qin residence, the statue of the ancestor of the Qin clan, Qin Wu, was still there. Qin Wu, the former marshal of the Chu country. He was in charge of the great Chu army, and his name shook the entire Chu country. His military achievements were illustrious, and he had once saved the previous emperor from danger, dying for the sake of his country. However, after the current emperor ascended to the throne, he ordered the Qin clan to move north to the Sky Harmony City, far away from the center of power. Qin Wentian smiled bitterly as he stared at the statue of the marshal. His experiences these few days were somewhat similar to what he had experienced in the Qin clan. Stepping into the Qin residence, Qin Wentian saw many people rushing towards a certain direction. He couldn't help but call out to a serving maid, "What happened?" "Young Master Wentian, the young masters and misses who were cultivating in the various academies in the royal capital have all returned. Today, the clan lord is in the training grounds to test their progress." The serving maid replied. The Chu country had been established for 3,000 years, and was extremely vast. There were over 100 cities, and a population of over 100 million. The royal capital of the Chu country was the most flourishing. Not only was it the center of power, but it was also the sacred ground of Wuxia. There were many famous academies and prestigious clans. People from all over the Chu country would send their talented youths to the famous academies to cultivate. The Qin clan was no exception. In Qin Wentian's generation, there were 3 people who were cultivating in the academies in the royal capital. They were the future of the Qin clan. Returning from the royal capital, I wonder what level of cultivation they've reached. Qin Wentian silently mused as he walked towards the training grounds of the Qin clan. When Qin Wentian arrived at the training grounds, he saw that those with status in the Qin clan were all there. On the platform, the sounds of wind and thunder could be heard as 2 young disciples were sparring. Qin Ji. Qin Wentian looked at one of the youths, who was dressed in a yellow robe. He was about the same age as Qin Wentian. At that moment, Qin Ji struck out with the roaring tiger fist. With a loud roar, he was like a ferocious tiger descending the mountain, causing the forest to tremble. In an instant, the youth opposite him was directly crushed. With a loud bang, he was sent flying, and his body fell heavily off the stage. This ferocious tiger descends the mountain fist is even scarier than a real tiger. I'm afraid Qin Ji has already reached the 7th level of the body refinement realm. Qin Wentian thought to himself as he felt the might of that punch. An ordinary Wuxia, at the 7th level of the body refinement realm, had the strength of 49 bulls, and his fists were harder than steel. Qin Ji had condensed his ferocious tiger astral soul and was a stellar martial cultivator. His strength was even stronger than before, and in addition to the amplification of the tiger roar fist art, his strength was terrifying to the extreme. He's only a young martial artist, yet he's already able to unleash such a powerful punch. This Qin Ji's talent is still below that of Qin Shang and Sister Qin Yao. Sister Qin Yao stepped into the 8th level of the body refinement realm last year, and I'm afraid that she's even stronger now. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed as he silently mused, not only that, this is only the body refinement realm. If he steps into the arterial circulation realm, all the acupoints in his body would be stimulated, and a boundless amount of energy would circulate in his body, connecting all 9 of his meridians. At that time, he would be able to unleash innate techniques that are even stronger than normal techniques. How tyrannical would that be? Wentian. At this moment, a voice drifted over. After which, several gazes landed on Qin Wentian, and the person who spoke was none other than the clan leader of the Qin clan, Qin Chuan. Wentian, why are you back? Qin Chuan's imposing demeanor changed, as a gentle smile appeared on his face. Foster father. Upon hearing Qin Chuan's words, Qin Wentian didn't know where to start. Ever since he was young, Uncle Black had brought him along to live in the Qin clan. The clan leader, Qin Chuan, treated him as his foster son, and treated him like his own. In fact, he treated him even better than his own children. Seems like things are as I expected. Autumn Snow condensed an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer, and her talent shocked the entire Chu Empire. I think that she must have been chased out of the Qin clan. A person beside Qin Chuan coldly stated. This person was none other than Qin Chuan's cousin, the 2nd son of the Qin clan, Qin He. Impudent. Qin Chuan berated. Big brother, you just don't believe my words. Now that the Bai clan is in close contact with the people of the royal capital, I've even heard that the Yi clan of the royal capital has already met with the Bai clan. Not only that, Autumn Snow's talent has already attracted the attention of many people. Do you think that the Bai clan will still abide by this marriage agreement? Qin He helplessly spoke, his words causing the expressions of the crowd to change. However, at this moment, the sound of wind whistling could be heard. The crowd inclined their heads and stared at the sky, only to see a gigantic eagle hovering in the air. On the back of the eagle, there was a yellow-robed silhouette. Qin Chuan furrowed his brows. This person wasn't polite at all. The gigantic eagle was actually hovering in the air above them. Teacher. At this moment, beside Qin Chuan, a young girl called out to the skies. Momentarily, Qin Chuan's gaze froze as he asked, Yao, is that your teacher? Qin Yao nodded her head, Teacher, why are you so free to visit the Qin clan? Please, have a seat of honor. Yao, I heard that the Qin clan and Autumn Snow from the Bai clan have a marriage agreement. Is this true? The yellow-robed middle-aged man asked. Qin Yao's countenance flickered, but she still replied, Yes, this is true. As the sound of her voice faded, the gigantic eagle hovered in the air, landing on the viewing platform. A smile appeared on its face. Today, I'm here precisely for this matter. I heard that Autumn Snow's talent is outstanding, and the Royal Academy wishes to recruit her. The hearts of the crowd couldn't help but shiver when they heard this. Autumn Snow had leapt up to become a dragon and phoenix amongst humans, and even the Royal Academy of Chu had personally come to recruit her. One must know that in the entire Qin clan, only the most talented of them all, Qin Yao, was able to enter the Royal Academy. If the Royal Academy wishes to recruit Autumn Snow, wouldn't it be better for teacher to send an invitation letter and allow her to register at the Royal Academy next spring? Qin Yao replied. Qin Yao, things are different this time around. Autumn Snow's first astral soul was condensed from the third heavenly layer. Many academies in the royal capital have sent representatives to recruit her, so we might as well arrange a recruitment event in the Sky Harmony City. The event will be held 2 days from now, and the location will be outside the Bai clan's residence. On the birthday of the Bai clan's clan leader, outside the Bai clan's residence. Qin Yao's gaze froze. This event was obviously specially prepared for Autumn Snow alone. That's right. Actually, this recruitment is just a side event. The main point is still to recruit Autumn Snow. Even the Emperor Star Academy might send representatives over. Hence, we don't dare to be careless. Talon, since you already know that the Emperor Star Academy will be coming, why do you still need to do this? A hearty laughter echoed in the air. Talon's gaze froze as he cast his gaze in the direction of the voice, only to see a figure walking in his direction, causing his pupils to shrink. Mustang. Talon coldly laughed in his heart. He didn't expect that Mustang would also want to use the marriage agreement between the Qin clan and the Qin clan. However, Qin Yao was his disciple, so there was no hope for Mustang. Brother Qin, long time no see. I wonder how your father is doing. Mustang walked up, looking at Qin Chuan. The father he was referring to was naturally Qin Wu's son, Qin Wu. He was also the father of the current Qin clan leader, Qin Chuan. Before Qin Wu died, Qin Wu had followed his father to battle on the battlefield, and his prestige within the army was extremely high. After Qin Wu's death, and the previous emperor's death, the current emperor used an empty title to send Qin Wu to the Sky Harmony City. Many thanks for Brother Mustang's concern. My father is doing well, it's just that he doesn't like to move around, so he's unable to receive you personally. Qin Chuan smiled at Mustang, while his heart trembled. Mustang was a student of the Emperor Star Academy, and he actually came here for Autumn Snow. It seemed like the Bai clan would definitely break off the marriage agreement. Mustang, Autumn Snow will definitely enter my Royal Academy. Talon stared at Mustang, his tone containing hints of provocation. Oh. Mustang laughed, as he sat down. His gaze swept across the crowd, and when his eyes landed on Qin Wentian, he paused for a moment. Last night, he snuck into the Bai clan, wanting to find out which genius the Bai clan was hiding. However, he didn't expect to discover something interesting. That person actually snuck out of the Bai clan, and under his curiosity, he followed him all the way to the Qin clan. And here I thought that the Bai clan was hiding a Yuanfu realm cultivator, but who would have thought that it would be a youth around the same age as Autumn Snow? Based on the strength of his astral energy, this young man's talent is definitely not below Autumn Snow's. Mustang silently mused. At this moment, the members of the Qin clan were all sighing in their hearts. The Royal Academy was the Royal Academy of the Chu country, and only accepted geniuses from the royal clan. It was ranked within the top 3 among all the academies in the Chu country. The Emperor Star Academy didn't accept anyone who wasn't a stellar martial cultivator. As long as one entered, they would all be at least at the Yuanfu realm, the cradle of geniuses. The Yuanfu realm was an existence that surpassed the 9 levels of arterial circulation. They could absorb the essence of the heavens and earth, and their innate techniques were all extremely powerful. Not only that, they could also form a Yuanfu within their bodies, which contained boundless amounts of Yuan energy, allowing them to soar through the skies. Cultivators at the Yuanfu realm were all powerful characters that could do whatever they wanted in the Sky Harmony City. And now, the Royal Academy and the Emperor Star Academy had come to the Qin clan for the sake of Autumn Snow. Chapter 7. Talon thought that Mustang had come to the Qin clan for the same reason as him, and couldn't help but feel a sense of pressure. He turned to Qin Yao and asked, Yao, in your Qin clan, which young man is engaged to Autumn Snow? This. Qin Yao's countenance turned ugly, as her beautiful eyes glanced at Qin Wentian, before replying, Teacher, I'm afraid there are some unforeseen circumstances regarding this matter. What unforeseen circumstances? Talon froze, as he asked. Qin Yao glanced at Qin Chuan. She herself didn't know what was going on, but she didn't dare to lie to her teacher. Wentian, come over here. Qin Chuan spoke to Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian immediately walked over, only to hear Qin Chuan saying, Brother Talon, Brother Mo, this is my son, Qin Wentian. He is the one engaged to Autumn Snow, but my son's situation is unique. Although he has exceptional talent, he is unable to cultivate. Can the two of you take a look and see if there are any solutions? Big brother, what kind of talent is that? Qin he asked. Shut up. What do you mean by innate crippled meridians? Wentian's meridians must have been damaged by some accident. Not only that, Wentian's perception towards the constellations is extremely strong. Qin Chuan shouted. This scene caused Mustang and Talon to narrow their eyes, as though they understood something. However, their thoughts were different. Let me take a look. Mustang and Talon spoke at the same time, as they each placed a hand on Qin Wentian's wrist. Crippled meridians. Talon's heart trembled, as his countenance turned unsightly. He retracted his hand and laughed, hee, seems like I've wasted my time. As the saying goes, dragons and phoenixes are in harmony. Now, even a snake has thoughts of climbing up to the phoenix. Qin Chuan's eyes narrowed, as his countenance turned cold. Sir, don't you think the way you speak is a little inappropriate? Huh? When Talon heard that Qin Chuan had changed the way he addressed Qin Wentian, his countenance was filled with displeasure. The Qin clan was despised by the current emperor, and was declining day by day. Sooner or later, they would become history. If it weren't for Autumn Snow and Qin Yao, he would never have stepped into the Qin clan. Who would have thought that Qin Chuan would be so rude to him because of Qin Wentian? Qin Chuan, it seems like you truly have the wishful thinking. The majestic Qin clan has fallen to such a state. How laughable. Talon mocked. If you have nothing else to say, please go ahead. Qin Chuan stretched out his hand, ordering the guest to leave. This caused Qin Yao to be in a difficult position. Teacher, my father's temper has always been impatient, please don't take offense. Qin Yao, your father really doesn't know what's good for him, Talon said coldly. Yao, in the future, you must not take this person as your master. Qin Chuan's voice was extremely domineering, causing Qin Yao's countenance to turn pale. As for Talon, he was infuriated, good, very good. Qin Wentian sighed in his heart as he stared at Qin Chuan's resolute countenance. He felt extremely guilty in his heart. For his sake, Qin Chuan had offended so many people. And now, he actually had a falling out with the teacher of his own daughter, Qin Yao, from the Royal Academy. However, Mustang had a different thought in his mind. He stared at Qin Wentian, narrowing his eyes as he laughed, Brother Qin, when did his meridians cripple? It started when he was 6 years old. Qin Chuan replied, after that, it got more and more serious, until all his meridians were crippled. 6 years old. Mustang drew in a breath of cold air as he stared at Qin Wentian. After which, he released his grip, as his eyes flickered. If his conjecture was right, how much willpower did this young man have? Thinking back to Talon's earlier performance, Mustang couldn't help but to snicker in his heart. Thump, thump, thump. The earth abruptly trembled as the sounds of horses galloping could be heard. The eyes of those from the Qin clan froze, as their countenances turned cold. Who would dare to ride a horse into the Qin clan? Very quickly, they saw a group of knights clad in armor and wielding long spears galloping towards them. The person in the lead was clad in a black robe that fluttered in the wind. His eyes were as sharp as swords, and he exuded a sinister aura. Ice Hawk. Qin Chuan's eyes narrowed. He didn't expect that his Qin clan would be so lively today. Ice Hawk was once the deputy general under his father's command. His personality was sinister and ruthless, and he had always been disliked by his father. In the end, he joined forces with the Qin clan's mortal enemy, the Yi clan, to suppress the Qin clan. Young master, long time no see. Ice Hawk's gaze was as sharp as an eagle's, as he stared at Qin Chuan. Ice Hawk, you actually dared to barge into the Qin clan on horseback. Your guts are getting bigger and bigger. Qin Chuan's gaze was filled with unfriendliness, as cold as ice. Ice Hawk didn't care about Qin Chuan's words. Currently, the Qin clan was like the setting sun in the western mountains. His Majesty had personally allowed the various powers to suppress the Qin clan, and as long as Qin Chuan's father, Qin Wu, was still alive, the Majesty would never be at ease. Hence, no matter who it was that wanted to trample on the Qin clan, the Majesty would only pretend that he didn't know. This was exactly what he wanted. I came to the Qin clan for 2 reasons. Firstly, to see if old Master Qin is still alive. Secondly, to inform the Qin clan that 2 days from now, the various powers of Chu will descend upon the Bai clan. Autumn Snow will definitely enter either the Emperor Star Academy or the Royal Academy. At that time, when the 2 clans discuss the marriage, the Qin clan has to be present, and don't hide here. After speaking, Ice Hawk reined in his warhorse, and the sound of hooves thundered through the air as he galloped away. He turned his head back and smiled coldly at Qin Chuan. His eyes, which had been on the battlefield for so long, were as sharp as swords, able to penetrate the hearts of people. The members of the Qin clan stared at the departing silhouette. Qin Chuan's body trembled in anger. If Autumn Snow used the fact that she was accepted as a disciple of the Emperor Star Academy to break off the marriage, everyone would think that it was only natural. His Qin clan, Qin Wentian, wasn't worthy. This was a humiliation to the Qin clan, and a humiliation to Qin Wentian. The Bai clan has gone too far. Qin Chuan had never expected that the Bai clan would repay kindness with enmity. 2 days from now, he had to go and take a look. So that's how it is. Talon coldly laughed. Qin Chuan, just wait for your face to be slapped. Farewell. After speaking, he mounted the gigantic eagle and soared into the skies. The gigantic eagle circled in the air for a moment, as it let out a mocking cry. The entire Qin clan was silent. Ever since the current emperor suppressed the Qin clan had been in decline. Yet, they still stood tall and proud, and had never suffered such humiliation before. Elder brother. Qin, he abruptly spoke, you've seen the situation for yourself. The Bai clan has obviously joined forces with the Yi clan to deal with our Qin clan. In addition to the prestige of a genius like Autumn Snow, if our Qin clan were to head there 2 days from now, we would definitely lose all face. You mean to say that our Qin clan will do as Ice Hawk said, and avoid the Qin clan? Qin Chuan coldly asked. All these years, Qin Wentian has used up a lot of resources and Yuan meteor stones. Although I have some complaints in my heart, I've never said a single word. However, this matter concerns the prestige of the Qin clan. I suggest that we expel Qin Wentian from the Qin clan. All these years, we've already done what we should have done. Qin He's voice was low, causing the atmosphere in the surroundings to be oppressive. All these years, there were many people in the Qin clan who had some complaints about Qin Wentian. Qin Chuan had doted on him too much, yet he was a cripple who couldn't cultivate. There was no way they could help him up. Third brother, what do you think? Qin Chuan asked another person, the third son of the Qin clan, Qin Yi. Qin Wentian is more suited to the life of an ordinary person. Qin Yi replied in a low voice. Qin Chuan was silent for a moment, before he swept his gaze across the crowd and slowly said, "In the past, our ancestor received the kindness of the late emperor, and fought on the battlefields for 80 years, sustaining severe injuries 18 times. During the 10 Nations Alliance Conference, the late emperor was trapped, and he rode alone for 1,000 miles, carrying 8 arrows on his body, yet he still managed to rescue the late emperor. When he returned to the Qin clan, he was already dead. What a heroic spirit! And today, our Qin clan has declined. Just because we suffered some humiliation, we want to expel the descendant of our ancestor's benefactor from the Qin clan. Such a move makes me blush with shame, and humiliates our ancestor. Even in the underworld, we won't have the face to see our ancestor's spirit. The Qin clan is here, and Qin Wentian is here. 2 days later, gather all the soldiers of the Qin clan and attack the Bai clan. If there's anyone who still dares to suggest expelling Qin Wentian from the Qin clan, I will personally execute them." After speaking, Qin Chuan abruptly slammed his palm onto the chair beneath him. In an instant, a cracking sound rang out, as the chair shattered into pieces, and silence filled the air. Qin Chuan's voice reverberated in the air, as he stood there with his back straight. The crowd stared at Qin Chuan, and it was as though they were looking at their ancestor. What kind of kindness did Qin Wentian's ancestor do to the Qin clan, to actually make Qin Chuan act in such a manner? The hearts of the crowd trembled. They only knew that Qin Chuan accepted Qin Wentian as his foster son, and treated him in such a manner, all for the sake of repaying Qin Wentian's ancestor's kindness. For the sake of this kindness, Qin Chuan was willing to sacrifice everything. This kind of spirit caused them to sigh in admiration, and yet, this iron-blooded loyalty caused them to feel deep veneration. Everyone stood there with their backs ramrod straight. "Wentian, there's no need for you to bother with this matter. Just stay at home, foster father will seek justice for you." Qin Chuan's gaze softened as he stared at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian sighed in his heart. He had shattered his meridians, causing his foster father to be worried. Initially, he wanted to tell his foster father the truth after he became a stellar martial cultivator. But who would have thought that the actions of the Bai clan would create such a huge storm, even affecting the Qin clan? He didn't know of his origins, as Uncle Black had never told him about it. He also didn't know what the relationship between his ancestors was. He only knew that the kindness Qin Chuan had shown him was something that he would never be able to repay in this lifetime. Only to see Qin Wentian retreating from the spectators' stand, as he walked up to the arena. Kneeling on the ground, he stared at Qin Chuan as he stated, "This matter arose because of me, so I will settle it myself. There's no need to use any of the Qin clan's strength. It doesn't matter if the Bai clan humiliates me, but if it implicates the dignity of the Qin clan, I will definitely not agree to it. I, Qin Wentian, will bear full responsibility for this matter. Father." Qin Wentian called out in a heavy voice, as he kowtowed, only to hear an echo. Kneeling down, he thanked his father for his benevolence. Qin Chuan slowly walked forward, as he helped Qin Wentian up. Both father and son exchanged glances, as smiles could be seen on their faces. This time around, Qin Wentian didn't call his foster father, but rather, called his father. "I've always believed in you. One day, you will be able to do what others can't." Qin Chuan's eyes shone with unwavering determination. At the side, Mustang's eyes narrowed, as he smiled. Compared to autumn snow, he preferred this young man in front of him. His talent was outstanding, and his mental fortitude was strong enough. In time to come, he would definitely become someone great. 2 days later, the various major powers gathered at the Bai clan, as the Qin clan prepared to send their troops over. It seemed like there would be a good show to watch. Chapter 8. Qin Wentian didn't tell Qin Chuan that he had already condensed an astral soul. 2 days later, when he got back at Qin Chuan, he believed that his foster father would be even happier. "Brother Qin, I want to take a closer look at my nephew's situation. Do you trust me?" At this moment, Mustang walked up, staring at Qin Wentian, as a strange light flickered in his eyes. "Since Brother Mo is willing, I'm naturally more than happy to help." How could Qin Chuan refuse? The Emperor Star Academy was the dream academy of everyone in Chu. The higher-ups of the Emperor Star Academy could disregard the authority of the royal clan. Many years ago, the royal clan of Chu feared that the Emperor Star Academy was too powerful. Hence, they established the Royal Academy, just like how they supported the Yi clan to suppress the Qin clan. "Qin Wentian, come with me." Mustang led Qin Wentian away. Qin Chuan turned to Qin Yao and said, "You go as well." Qin Yao nodded her head, following behind the two of them from afar. Qin Wentian saw Mustang staring at him. His gaze was as resplendent as the constellations, causing his heart to tremble. This was the power of an astral soul. Mustang most likely had the celestial eye's astral soul. Someone with crippled meridians can actually cultivate. Mustang lightly stated, causing Qin Wentian to be startled. Indeed, the celestial eye's astral soul was able to see through the fluctuations of astral energy. Who would have thought that today, I would actually see someone shattering his own meridians in order to condense an astral meridian? Mustang's heart was filled with joy. Earlier, he had confirmed that Qin Wentian indeed had crippled meridians, but he was still a stellar martial cultivator. This meant that there was only one possibility. He wanted to condense the most perfect arterial circulation, the astral meridians. Although this was only the embryonic form of the arterial circulation, the amount of astral energy in his body was already far ahead of others. This young man must definitely be recruited into the Emperor Star Academy. "Senior, do you have any instructions for me?" Qin Wentian asked Mustang. "The strength of the astral energy in your body should be at the 5th level of the body refinement realm, right? What a powerful celestial eye's astral soul. Although I'm only at the 4th level of the body refinement realm, my astral energy originated from the 5th heavenly layer, my astral energy is much denser. Mustang might have misjudged me." Qin Wentian mused. 2 days later, all the major powers will gather. Famous academies will be recruiting students, and there will definitely be many tests. Although your talent is outstanding, your strength still needs to increase in a short period of time. I have some things for you. You must come in 2 days. Chen, Qin, Tian, 1 Qin, Wentian 2, Qin, I, Tian's, I, what, I's Tian T the Wu. After, Qin, 1, Tian, at, Wus. How, Qin, Wentian, W, Qin, Tian, Qin, Wentian, I, at, I, 1. I. Looking at the item in his hands, Qin Wentian's eyes narrowed, as his heart trembled. This stone, astral energy fluctuated intensely from it. It was an extremely valuable Yuan meteor stone. On the cover of the book, there were 3 words, Dragon Subduing Fist. Emperor Star Academy. Qin Wentian silently memorized it, as he kept the items. After which, the sound of footsteps drifted over, as a silhouette appeared beside Qin Wentian, as a faint fragrance drifted over. I've long since told you, Bai Qingsong's schemes run deep. Back then, I was against this marriage, yet you, this fellow, were so lustful. The corners of Qin Wentian's mouth curled up in a smile. Shifting his gaze over, he saw an extremely beautiful face. Her eyebrows were as beautiful as the crescent moon, and her eyes were filled with a light smile. Her complexion was as fair as snow, and her skin was so soft and supple that it seemed as though it would break with the slightest breeze. Qin Yao was the same as autumn snow, one of the 4 great beauties of Sky Harmony City. If I was lustful, I'd be hanging on to Sister Qin Yao every day. Qin Wentian joked. Stop your nonsense. Qin Yao rolled her eyes at Qin Wentian, as she continued, "You caused my father and my teacher to have a falling out. In the future, you'll definitely have a hard time in the academy. How do you intend to compensate me?" Qin Wentian retrieved the Yuan meteor stone from his pocket, as he passed it over to Qin Yao. With a smile, he stated, "This Yuan meteor stone contains an extremely strong amount of astral energy. It should be a Yuan meteor stone from the second heavenly layer. Take it for your cultivation." Qin Yao stared at Qin Wentian, as she glared at him. "Every time my father gives you a Yuan meteor stone, you would always secretly pass it to me. Now that I'm already at the arterial circulation realm, do you think I still need your Yuan meteor stones?" Thinking of this, Qin Yao's gaze softened. Although it was because of Qin Wentian that her father and teacher Tang Lin had a falling out, she wouldn't blame Qin Wentian. Ever since she was young, this little brother of hers had always helped her in her cultivation. Every time her father gave her a Yuan meteor stone, Qin Wentian would always secretly pass it to her. Not only that, but he also told her not to tell anyone about it. "I'm at the arterial circulation realm." Qin Wentian was overjoyed, as he laughed, "Fine, I won't be giving it to you this time around." There were still 2 days left, and he truly needed to borrow the energy from the Yuan meteor stones to increase his strength. "That's more like it. Wentian, I've met many outstanding girls in the royal capital. In the future, if there's an opportunity, I'll introduce some to you. Since the Bai clan is so snobbish, you shouldn't be too concerned about them," Qin Yao advised. Qin Wentian naturally knew that this was the reason why Qin Yao followed him. She wanted to comfort him, as she was afraid that he would be affected by this matter. Halting his steps, Qin Wentian squatted down, causing Qin Yao's countenance to stiffen. She glared at Qin Wentian, "What? Come up." Qin Wentian laughed. "Screw you." Qin Yao blushed as she rolled her eyes at Qin Wentian, before turning her body away. "Beautiful lady, this isn't the first time. When we were young, you used to climb on top of me every day. Now that you've grown up, you don't even acknowledge me as your little brother anymore." Qin Wentian teased, causing Qin Yao to stomp her feet. This fellow was bringing up this embarrassing matter again. Qin Yao was slightly older than Qin Wentian, and was nearing the age of 17 this year. She was slender and elegant, with a tall stature. Qin Wentian made her feel like she was a child, and naturally, she felt a little embarrassed. But even so, she still shifted her feet, placing both her hands on Qin Wentian's shoulders, as she stared to the left. "Let's go." Qin Wentian placed both his hands on Qin Yao's thighs, allowing Qin Yao to lie on top of him. Feeling his back being pressed against by something soft, he couldn't help but smile. Sister Qin Yao has indeed grown up. Qin Yao gritted her teeth in hatred, her hands clutching onto Qin Wentian's ears, while her eyes darted left and right, as though she was afraid of being seen by others. Although the two of them were brother and sister, they weren't blood-related. Hence, Qin Yao couldn't act as naturally as she did when they were young. "Seems like I was worried for nothing," Qin Yao mumbled. This fellow didn't seem like someone who would suffer a setback. As the two of them chatted and laughed, they arrived at a courtyard. This was the residence of the Qin Chuan clan, and it was split into 2 courtyards, the east and west. Qin Chuan, his wife and Qin Yao resided in the east courtyard, while Qin Wentian and Uncle Black resided in the west courtyard. At this moment, there was a young lady in the courtyard. She didn't seem to be in her 30s, and she bore a slight resemblance to Qin Yao. Upon seeing Qin Wentian carrying Qin Yao on his back, a gentle smile involuntarily appeared on her face. "Yao, you're already so big, yet you still like to stick to Wentian." Qin Yao's mother was familiar with Qin Yao. Although Qin Yao was older than Qin Wentian, most of the time, it was Qin Wentian who took care of Qin Yao. "Mother, that's not the case. This fellow is taking advantage of me." Qin Yao dismounted from Qin Wentian's back as she grumbled to her mother. What other advantages have you not been taken advantage of by Wentian? Qin Wentian's mother smiled warmly, causing Qin Wentian to tremble in embarrassment. Mother. Qin Yao speechlessly stomped her feet, causing Qin Wentian's mother to laugh heartily. Mother, I'll go take a look at Uncle Black first. Qin Wentian could feel Qin Yao's malicious gaze and hurriedly slipped away. After arriving at the west courtyard, he saw an old man currently sweeping the courtyard. This old man only had one arm and one leg, and his back was hunched over, as though he was in his twilight years. Uncle Black, let me do it. Qin Wentian walked over, yet the old man slowly turned around and stared at Qin Wentian. His countenance stiffened as he asked, "You've condensed an astral soul?" Qin Wentian didn't feel it was strange that Uncle Black could see through it. He calmly nodded his head. Which heavenly layer? What kind of astral soul did you condense? Uncle Black asked. Fifth heavenly layer, heavenly hammer astral soul. Uncle Black's aged body trembled slightly, but it only lasted for an instant before he regained his composure. Turning around, he actually walked towards the backyard, not saying a single word. Qin Wentian silently followed Uncle Black to the training grounds in the backyard. Uncle Black sat on a stone block as he stared at Qin Wentian. For so many years, I've allowed you to shatter your meridians, causing you to suffer inhumane pain, yet I didn't allow you to absorb the yuan qi of heaven and earth, nor did I allow you to condense an astral soul. Do you blame me? Uncle Black, didn't you tell me before? If I absorbed the yuan qi of heaven and earth, how would I have the affinity with astral energy I have today? If it wasn't for me meditating and cultivating for so many years, how would I be able to condense an astral soul from the fifth heavenly layer? Qin Wentian smiled as he replied, only by accumulating experience can one grow stronger. Shattering one's meridians, isn't it a blessing in disguise? The people of the world are greedy for momentary gratification, absorbing the yuan qi of heaven and earth. While cultivating, they also want to become a stellar martial cultivator. However, they don't know that their innate talent has already been tainted by dust. Many years of meditation have allowed you to have today's results. From today onwards, I will no longer care about your cultivation. However, you have to remember this point. You must never absorb the yuan qi of heaven and earth. Only the purest stellar martial cultivators would be able to unceasingly open their astral gates and condense their astral souls. Qin Wentian nodded his head. Wentian, I will remember this. Uncle Black had told him before that the people of the world were all greedy. The majority of them absorbed the yuan qi of heaven and earth as well as the energy from the astral souls in order to increase their cultivation speed. This world belonged to the stellar martial cultivators. Chapter 9. Uncle Black stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke, "Release your astral soul for me to see." Qin Wentian nodded his head, and with a slight intention of his will, the astral gate opened. Instantly, the shadow of the heavenly hammer appeared above his head, incomparably resplendent. Not only that, at the edge of this resplendent astral soul, a golden halo could be seen revolving around it, as though symbolizing the nobility of this astral soul. The astral souls condensed from the first 3 heavenly layers from the 9 heavenly layers will have a faint golden halo around them. The higher the grade of the astral soul, the more terrifying the energy it contains, and the luster of the astral soul will also be different. The halo of the astral soul will grow brighter and brighter, and at the middle 3 heavenly layers, the luster of the astral soul will transform into a pure golden color. Hence, the moment you release your astral soul, others will know that you have condensed an astral soul from the 4th heavenly layer. However, normally speaking, only heavenly dipper sovereigns would be able to open 4 astral gates, and condense an astral soul from the 4th heavenly layer. Since you are still young, you have already condensed an astral soul from the 5th heavenly layer. This kind of talent will bring you many benefits, but it will also bring you bad luck. Do you understand? Uncle Black slowly explained to Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian nodded his head, he naturally understood this logic. Autumn Snow's first astral soul was from the third heavenly layer, and her name had already shaken the entire Chu country. If the news of him condensing an astral soul from the fifth heavenly layer were to spread out, many people would want to recruit him, but there would also be people who would want his life. Cultivation was divided into the body refinement realm, arterial circulation realm, Yuanfu realm, and finally, heavenly dipper sovereigns. Heavenly dipper sovereigns were terrifying existences that transcended Yuanfu. It was said that in the entire Chu country, it was extremely rare to even hear of a heavenly dipper sovereign. If a heavenly dipper sovereign appeared, a single heavenly dipper sovereign could rule an entire country. The acupuncture technique I taught you, there's a technique that can suppress the color of your astral soul. Do you remember it? Uncle Black asked again. I remember. Qin Wentian nodded his head. Fine, your first astral soul originated from the fifth heavenly layer, the heavenly hammer constellation. It will bestow upon you an extremely powerful attack and defense. Although I won't interfere with your future cultivation, you still have to be more cautious when you condense your second astral soul. If you can restrict the movements of others to aid you in your attacks, that would be a good idea. It will grant you an extremely powerful attack and defense. Although I won't interfere with your future cultivation, but when you condense your second astral soul, you should still be more cautious. Go. Uncle Black closed his eyes as Qin Wentian retreated, arriving at the edge of the training grounds. There was a bookshelf here, with many books placed on it. These were all the fruits of Uncle Black's hard work. Qin Wentian had started reading them since he was young, and had already read through them several times now. Among them, the majority of the books were related to acupuncture techniques. Qin Wentian guessed that Uncle Black's astral soul might be related to acupuncture techniques. These acupuncture techniques were extremely broad. There were healing techniques, meridian flow techniques, techniques to stimulate one's potential, etc. Now that he had become a stellar martial cultivator, he could infuse astral energy into his acupuncture techniques, allowing him to utilize even more of his strength. Qin Wentian retrieved a book and read through it. After which, he sat down cross-legged and started to insert silver needles into the acupoints of his head. Not long after, he could sense that within his astral gate, the luster of his astral soul was gradually fading. This would only change the luster of his astral gate, but it wouldn't affect the strength of his astral soul. Qin Wentian didn't know that the acupuncture technique he cultivated was an extremely rare secret art. It couldn't be found even in the entire Chu country. After a long period of time, Qin Wentian removed the silver needles. Opening his eyes, he murmured in a low voice, "Now, unless I intentionally use astral energy to stimulate these sealed acupoints, only then will my astral soul regain its original luster." After which, Qin Wentian took out the Yuan meteor stone, and sensed the astral energy within. It was extremely vast, and should have originated from the second heavenly layer. Yuan meteor stones were extremely valuable, as they were meteorites that fell from the 9 heavenly layers. The amount of energy contained within the astral martial constellations in the heavenly layers was incomparably terrifying. Stellar martial cultivators could only use their will to slowly absorb the energy from the astral martial constellations. Hence, even a small piece of Yuan meteor stone could contain a terrifying amount of energy. Not only that, this Yuan meteor stone could also be used to increase the probability of one condensing an astral martial constellation. For example, if Qin Wentian used this Yuan meteor stone in his hand to meditate, it would be easier for him to sense the parent astral martial constellation within the Yuan meteor stone and condense an astral soul. Hence, many cultivators used Yuan meteor stones to step onto the path of stellar martial cultivators. From this, one could see how valuable Yuan meteor stones were. If one wasn't from a prestigious clan, it would be impossible for an ordinary person to obtain one. The amount of energy contained within this Yuan meteor stone, in addition to the tyrannical nature of the heavenly hammer constellation, should be able to aid me in my breakthrough. Qin Wentian mused, as he took out the dragon subduing fist manual and flipped through it. he couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. This dragon-subduing fist was an innate technique. The body refinement realm was the foundation of one's martial path. It was a realm where one's fleshly body was perfect. In this realm, it was impossible for one to cultivate innate techniques, and could only cultivate the foundation of innate techniques. Only when one broke through to the arterial circulation realm would one be able to cultivate the tyrannical power of innate techniques. This dragon-subduing fist was an extremely powerful innate technique. It contained both the stances and innate techniques, allowing Wuxia to cultivate from the stances all the way to the innate techniques. The dragon-subduing fist had a tyrannical foundation, and its power was akin to that of a dragon. There were 3 stances: raging dragon emerging from the sea, dragon soaring in the wild, and 9 heavenly dragon roars. During the day, I'll cultivate the dragon-subduing fist, and at night, I'll borrow the power of the Yuan meteor stones to comprehend the constellations, raising my cultivation base. I hope that within these 2 days, I'll be able to grow stronger and regain some face for the Qin clan. Qin Wentian silently mused. Cultivating astral energy at night was much more effective than cultivating during the day. The first stance of the dragon-subduing fist manual, raging dragon emerging from the sea. Although the stance seems simple, it requires an indomitable momentum. When a raging dragon emerges from the sea, how tyrannical would it be? Qin Wentian carefully read through the main points of the stances in the manual, before attempting to cultivate it in the training grounds. Punching out, he imagined the energy within his body to be that of a raging dragon, unyielding and ferocious, rushing out from the sea. Something's wrong, my movements are slow and sluggish. I don't have the coordination of the stances as depicted in the manual. Qin Wentian continued to reflect on himself as he cultivated, unceasingly perfecting his technique. After a long time, Qin Wentian stopped and closed his eyes in contemplation. In his mind, it was as though he could see the image of a dragon, tyrannical in form, ferocious in might. Abruptly, Qin Wentian opened his eyes, as a brilliant light flashed within them. He lowered his waist and took a step forward, his body resembling that of a dragon. With an enraged roar, he transformed into an enraged dragon, punching out with his fists. A thunderous sound echoed out as the stone block in front of him directly exploded, sending debris flying in all directions. Who? Qin Wentian's long hair fluttered in the wind. His handsome eyes were as bright as the stars as he glanced at his fists. The might of this technique was already so powerful. If he were to step into the arterial circulation realm in the future, he would be able to execute the innate technique of the dragon-subduing fist. How terrifying would that be? The raging dragon emerges from the sea was gradually completed, but Qin Wentian didn't stop there. He continued to immerse himself in his cultivation. This feeling of immense power caused his blood to boil with excitement. Until nightfall, when Qin Yao sent a maid to call him for dinner, Qin Wentian was immediately sent away. He only chose to cultivate in the enclosed training grounds of the backyard. In a single night, with the aid of the Yuan meteor stone as well as the tempered thousand hammer refinement technique, he managed to raise his strength to the peak of the 4th level of the body refinement realm. Not only that, the immense amount of astral energy contained within the Yuan meteor stone was completely absorbed by him. From this, one could see how terrifying his sensitivity towards astral energy was. During the day, Qin Wentian didn't stop his cultivation of the tempered thousand hammer refinement technique until he broke through the restrictions of his cultivation level and stepped into the 5th level of the body refinement realm. If news of him breaking through to the 5th level of the body refinement realm were to spread, it would surely shock the world. After his breakthrough, Qin Wentian didn't have the slightest intention to rest. He immediately started to practice the second stance of the dragon-subduing fist, Dragon Rages in the Wild. In the span of 2 days, Qin Wentian neglected to eat or sleep, wholeheartedly immersing himself in his cultivation. Another day, the constellations in the sky gradually dissipated, as the eastern horizon was illuminated by a ray of white. Qin Wentian opened his eyes, feeling extremely refreshed. However, he seemed to have something weighing on his mind, as he stared at the sky in a daze. Today was Bai Qingsong's birthday celebration, and also the day when the various powers gathered at the Bai residence. Thinking back to everything that had happened in the past few days, Qin Wentian felt as though he was in a dream. Bai Qingsong repaid kindness with enmity, autumn snow's heartlessness, Bai Qing's innocence, and his foster father's iron-blooded loyalty. And now, in the blink of an eye, he had already become a stellar martial cultivator, and had condensed an astral soul. All of these should be resolved today. Chapter 10. Crimson flames blazed high up in the sky, illuminating the earth and enveloping the ancient capital city of Sky Harmony City. In the middle of the city, there were many luxurious buildings, and under the refraction of the sunlight, the majestic buildings appeared even more majestic. Numerous ancient bluestone streets extended all the way to the same location, and over there was a gigantic training ground. Behind the training ground, there was a majestic spectator stand, and further back, there was a majestic residence. Sky Harmony City, Bai Clan Residence. At this moment, the current clan leader of the Bai clan, Bai Qingsong, was seated on the spectator's stand. Beside him, there was a 16-year-old girl with fair skin, long hair that draped over her shoulders, and a voluptuous figure. Congratulations on the birthday of the Bai clan's clan leader. At this moment, below the red carpet that led to the spectator's stand, there were many people congratulating him. Bai Qingsong clasped his hands to the crowd, his face full of smiles. Bai clan leader, your daughter is only 16 years old, and her future is limitless. Someone smiled as he looked at the girl beside Bai Qingsong. You're too polite. Bai Qingsong casually replied. The number of people who had gathered here grew more and more, and the atmosphere was extremely lively. Not only that, there were many people who had brought along the younger generation of their clans. Evidently, they were here for the recruitment event of the Sky Harmony Academy. Rumble. At this moment, on the bluestone streets far away, the sound of galloping hooves could be heard, as tens of thousands of horses galloped forth. Despite the distance, the people here could still feel the intense tremors. The gazes of the crowd involuntarily turned in that direction, as their pupils constricted. An army of knights. The pupils of the crowd narrowed. Silver helmets, silver armors, silver saddles, and the pure white horses galloped towards the training ground. The crowd could only see a silvery white blur, causing their hearts to involuntarily pound violently. There's no way that the Sky Harmony City would have such a powerful army of knights. Evidently, they're from the royal capital. The hearts of the crowd mused. In an instant, the army of knights stopped in front of the training ground. The crowd could only see the pitch-black eyes of the knights, sharp and terrifying. A single look from them was enough to cause the hearts of the crowd to tremble. Whoosh! A chorus of voices rang out in unison, as the members of the Silver Feather Knights dismounted from their horses. The only exception was the leader of the Silver Feather Knights. He placed both his hands on his helmet before slowly taking it off, revealing a pair of sharp eyes. It was none other than Ice Hawk. He then spoke to Bai Qingsong, the great Chu capital, Silver Feather Knights, wishes Patriarch Bai Qingsong well. As soon as he finished speaking, someone immediately stepped forward and presented a congratulatory gift. Capital of Chu, the Silver Feather Cavalry Regiment. The pupils of the crowd froze. Someone from the Chu capital had arrived. Bai Qingsong stood there with a smile on his face, looking at Ice Hawk as he said, "Many thanks, please have a seat." Ice Hawk lightly nodded his head as he walked along the red carpet to the side of the spectator stands and sat down. At this moment, the rumbling sounds of iron hooves could be heard once again, causing the hearts of the crowd to tremble. And this time, it was as though the sound of iron hooves could be heard from several bluestone streets at the same time. Chu capital, Mo clan is here to congratulate clan leader Bai Qingsong. Chu capital, Violet King Palace, here to offer our blessings to Bai Qingsong. The thunderous voices grew louder and louder, as the troops and the golden lion mounts gradually appeared in the field of vision of the crowd. However, the most eye-catching thing was the silhouettes that were slowly approaching from the middle of the bluestone streets. There were a few carriages, and although there were only a few of them, and they didn't look imposing at all, the carvings on the carriages were of the tulip family. And the beast pulling the carriage was a dragon horse with a long horn. Tulip emblem, it's the people from the Yi clan. Some of the more knowledgeable spectators shuddered. The Yi clan was like the sun in the sky, with geniuses emerging in large numbers. Among the descendants of the Yi clan, there was the extremely talented Wuxia, who was currently cultivating in the Royal Capital Academy. There were also some who held positions in the army, and there were also some who were favored by the younger generations of the royal clan and married into the royal clan. It seems like the rumor of the Yi clan intending to form a marriage alliance with the Bai clan is true. Many in the crowd silently speculated. These people from the royal capital must have a good relationship with the Yi clan. An old man stepped out from the tulip family's carriage in front. His eyes shone with a piercing light. Bai Qingsong stood up and politely said, "Old man Ye's presence brings light to my humble dwelling. Mister, please have a seat." The old man from the Yi clan lightly nodded his head, as he led his entourage forward. Although the number of people wasn't many, it was sufficient. After all, he was a Yuanfu realm expert. "Autumn snow, this is what you brought to me, to the Bai clan." Bai Qingsong clenched his fists tightly, suppressing the surging emotions in his heart as he murmured to the young girl beside him. He knew that there was only one reason for such a grand occasion, and that was because of the person beside him, his daughter, Autumn Snow. At this moment, from afar, a row of silhouettes could be seen walking over, causing the pupils of the crowd to narrow. The Chu Martial Academy had arrived. Today, there were many people who came to the royal capital for the recruitment event. The Emperor Star Academy, there's really an Emperor Star Academy. As long as one enrolls into the Emperor Star Academy, they would definitely become a Yuanfu realm cultivator. In the entire Chu country, a Yuanfu realm cultivator would be considered a major character. Many people had expressions of excitement on their faces, including those from the major clans. They all had high hopes for the Emperor Star Academy. And there's also the Royal Academy. This is an academy established by the royal clan, and has the backing of the royal clan. The Divine Wind Academy, and the Seven Stars Academy, the most prestigious academy in the Chu country, have all arrived. The crowd couldn't help but be agitated. There were many academies in the Chu country, but this time around, the four transcendent powers were the strongest. Obviously, they all wanted to vie for Autumn Snow, while the other transcendent powers knew that they wouldn't be able to win. The four great academies came to the front of the martial arena's grandstand and gathered in a position facing the crowd. At this moment, a person calmly said, "Today, those who are under the age of 16 and possess the strength of 36 bulls can participate in the exam and have the opportunity to enter one of the four great academies. Now, those who meet the requirements and are willing to participate can come up to the stage." As the sound of his voice faded, a commotion broke out in the crowd. However, many sighed. For those who were below the age of 16 and possessed the strength of 36 bulls, they would only be eligible to participate in the recruitment test. To Wu Xiu, only those who had reached the 6th level of the body refinement realm could possess such strength. Many people didn't even have the qualifications to participate in the recruitment test. For those with exceptional talent and special circumstances, such as those who have condensed an astral soul from the second heavenly layer or higher, the requirements can be relaxed. Another person added. Boom, boom. Abruptly, the earth trembled, as though it was galloping. The gazes of the crowd turned around and looked behind them, only to see a group of cavalry galloping over like a gust of wind. In the blink of an eye, they arrived in front of the training grounds, causing the crowd to open up a path for them. The person in the lead pulled on the reins of his horse, as he stared at Bai Qingsong, who was seated on the stage. "Brother Qin Chuan has arrived, please take a seat. Bai Qingsong remained seated, as a cold smile appeared on his face. Qin Chuan and the rest dismounted from their horses and stepped onto the martial arena, directly sitting down in a corner of the spectator stands. The gazes of the crowd shifted in that direction, only to see that the people seated there were all from the major clans of Sky Harmony City. They had all brought along their most outstanding juniors. Qin Yao has also arrived. Her talent is extraordinary, and she entered the Royal Academy over a year ago. Now, 3 of the 4 great beauties of Sky Harmony City have actually arrived. Bai Qingsong has the intention to form a marriage alliance with the Yi clan. It's rumored that 2 days ago, a group of armored horses personally arrived at the Qin residence, and ordered them to come today. I'm afraid that today, the Bai clan will use the opportunity of autumn snow entering the Emperor Star Academy to annul the marriage. If that's the case, the Qin clan would be the one to lose face. Many people started whispering amongst themselves, while Qin Chuan's gaze swept across the crowd, as though he was searching for something. Very quickly, his gaze landed on a silhouette. Wentian. The pupils of Qin Chuan's eyes narrowed. Qin Wentian had really arrived. Qin Wentian had already arrived long ago, blending into the crowd. His gaze was calm, yet within this calmness, there was a hint of unswerving determination. Okay, those who wish to participate in this examination, please come up. Talon spoke. He was one of the examinees from the Royal Academy. In order to show how much importance the Royal Academy placed on autumn snow, not only did Talon arrive, there were also a few others beside him. One of them was even his senior brother. Below the martial arena, more and more youths ascended the stage, all of them exuding an extraordinary aura. At the same time, the youths from the major powers of Sky Harmony City also ascended the martial arena. Ning Feng from the Ning clan. This person is only 15 years of age, yet he's already at the 7th level of the body refinement realm. Not only that, he also awakened his astral soul last year. He's definitely an extraordinary character. Chen Yu, nearing 16 years of age. Although he has yet to awaken his astral soul and become a stellar martial cultivator, he's already at the 8th level of the body refinement realm, and has a high chance of entering the martial palace. Lin Yu, not even 16 years of age, and is already at the 7th level of the body refinement realm. When he was 13 years of age, he condensed his first astral soul, and is one of the 4 great beauties of Sky Harmony City. The majority of the gazes of the crowd landed on Lin Yu. Autumn Snow and Lin Yu were both part of the 4 great beauties of Sky Harmony City, and their ages were close to each other. They were often mentioned in the same breath, but now, Lin Yu had been left in the dust. These people's cultivation methods were naturally different from Qin Wentian's. Even for those who could condense their astral soul, they had already started cultivating before they condensed their astral soul. Autumn Snow was no exception, but after that, Qin Wentian advised Autumn Snow to stop cultivating, and try not to absorb the yuan qi of heaven and earth into her body. However, Qin Wentian knew that Autumn Snow had still not stopped absorbing the yuan qi of heaven and earth. If not, with Autumn Snow's talent and his help, she might have been able to condense an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer much earlier. At this moment, on the spectator stand, Autumn Snow's silhouette stood up. In an instant, all the gazes that landed on Lin Yu were attracted to her. The genius of the Bai clan, the #1 genius of Sky Harmony City, and one of the 4 great beauties of Sky Harmony City. The major powers of Chu were all here for her. Unknowingly, this beautiful girl had too many halos surrounding her, causing people to look up to her. Chapter 11. Autumn Snow walked down the stairs step by step, her black hair fluttering in the wind. Her beautiful countenance, with every step she took, was capable of stirring the hearts of the spectators. What a peerless beauty! Many people sighed in their hearts. Not only was her countenance outstanding, her talent was unparalleled as well. I've heard that before autumn snow condensed her astral soul, she was already a genius at the 7th level of the body refinement realm. Now that she's even more dazzling in the Sky Harmony City, if I could marry her, I would have no regrets even in death. Someone sighed, involuntarily recalling the rumored marriage alliance between Autumn Snow and Yi Wuke. Maybe only Yi Wuke, with his outstanding talent and status, would be a match for Autumn Snow. As for that Qin Wentian of the Qin clan, he really didn't know the immensity of the heavens and the earth, and deserved to be humiliated. However, why did the Qin clan send troops to the Bai clan? Not long after, Autumn Snow walked up to the center of the stage, and stood there casually. It was as though all the light was concentrated on her body, and at this moment, there were already over 30 people on the stage. On the viewing platform, the gazes of the students from the 4 great academies were like torches, staring at Autumn Snow. As for the others, they didn't care too much about them. After all, they were originally here for Autumn Snow. Only Mustang's gaze flickered as he spoke. Who else? Don't miss out on this rare opportunity. It's about time. Talon indifferently replied. He had to obtain Autumn Snow no matter what. However, at this moment, among the crowd, a figure slowly walked towards the martial arts stage. He walked up the stairs and onto the martial arts stage. Many people were stunned when they saw the slightly immature face of a young man. Qin Wentian. Many people started whispering to each other. Qin Wentian actually came, and even walked up the stage. Could it be that he didn't know the rules? Bai Qingsong had never expected that Qin Wentian would appear here. He stared at Qin Wentian, before shifting his gaze onto Qin Chuan, who was standing not too far away, as he silently mused in his heart. The Qin clan had sent people to rescue Qin Wentian in the middle of the night, and now, both the Qin clan and Qin Wentian had appeared. In that case, everything that happened today would be easy to handle. Autumn Snow didn't inform Bai Qingsong of her encounter with Qin Wentian. Mustang's eyes lit up when he saw Qin Wentian. His eyes narrowed into slits as he smiled. Autumn Snow could be given up if necessary, but Qin Wentian was determined to win. Mustang casually cast a glance at Talon, only to see the look of disdain on Talon's face. Instantly, Mustang's heart blossomed with joy. He was imagining how spectacular Talon's expression would be when Qin Wentian unleashed his full potential later. On the stage, Autumn Snow gazed at Qin Wentian, as a strange light flashed in her eyes. Qin Wentian, this isn't a place for you to stand. Get down. Qin Wentian stared at her, as a cold smile appeared on his face. However, he didn't reply. Seeing that Qin Wentian was only looking at her, Autumn Snow furrowed her brows, as though she was extremely unhappy. Qin Wentian, I know that you are unwilling in your heart. However, there's an insurmountable gulf between us, and it's destined that we will never be able to walk together. No matter how unwilling you are, don't cause trouble. This stage isn't a place for you to stand. Leave. You really think too highly of yourself. Qin Wentian coldly replied, as he stood at the side, no longer looking at Autumn Snow. She was only 16 years old, yet her schemes were so deep. He felt pity for his past self. He had treated her with sincerity, treating her as his kin, as his fiancée, while she had always been making use of him. Nephew Wentian. Bai Qingsong's voice drifted over from the spectator stands. Qin Wentian shifted his gaze over, only to see Bai Qingsong smiling as he said, Nephew Wentian, my daughter Autumn Snow, upon seeing that you were unable to cultivate, has devoted her heart and soul to guiding you on the path of cultivation. Although she didn't succeed, she still tried her best. Who would have thought that you would be such a beast? Autumn Snow guided me. Beast? Qin Wentian's countenance stiffened. Staring at the magnanimous image of Bai Qingsong, he couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. Such a despicable person, he had always respected him as his own father. Although you and Autumn Snow had a verbal engagement, you are still not married yet. Yet, you actually dared to do such improper things, and even schemed against my little daughter by Qing. My heart aches for you, but on account of our past relationship, I will not hold this against you. I hope that from today onwards, you will never appear before me again. Bai Qingsong's voice was calm, yet it allowed Qin Wentian to see through his true colors. How could he not hold this against him? He was simply despicable to the extreme. If he wanted to annul the engagement, he could have done so, but he had to resort to such underhanded methods. This was similar to how he used to curry favor with the powerful Qin clan. In order to achieve his goals, this person was willing to disregard face and use any means necessary. Upon hearing Bai Qingsong's magnanimous words, countless people stared at Qin Wentian with disdain, as all sorts of curses and insults were thrown at him. Silence. Talon indifferently called out. Momentarily, the surroundings quietened down. Talon stared at Qin Wentian as he coldly stated, "It's fine if you can't cultivate, but since you are such a despicable person, even if the Bai clan lord doesn't hold this against you, it doesn't mean that you can be so impudent in this place." Scram. Junior brother. Beside Talon, a middle-aged man clad in luxurious robes glanced at Talon, only to hear Talon continuing, "Senior brother, this person was born with crippled meridians, and is unable to cultivate. He had a marriage engagement with Autumn Snow. It must have been tough for Autumn Snow to endure such a person for 3 whole years." The middle-aged man immediately understood. Talon was trying to rope in Autumn Snow, and thus, he allowed Talon to do as he pleased. Qin Wentian's countenance turned cold. The name of the Royal Academy could be said to have resounded throughout the entire Chu country, yet for the sake of Autumn Snow, it was truly disappointing. For the recruitment of the 4 great academies, I didn't do anything overboard. Senior, you are from the Royal Academy, even if you value Autumn Snow, you shouldn't have flattered me in such a manner. You didn't even confirm if I had the qualifications to participate in the recruitment test, yet you still tried to humiliate and suppress me. If everyone from the Royal Academy is like this, how pitiful. Impudent. Talon roared in rage, "I've personally confirmed it, don't tell me there's a mistake." If Senior acts in such a manner, Qin Wentian has nothing to say. Qin Wentian stood upright as a ramrod. Little brother's words make sense. Talon, don't you feel that you're losing your poise by being so arbitrary? Mustang laughed in his heart when he saw that Qin Wentian and Talon had fallen out. Talon coldly stared at Mustang as he replied, "I didn't expect Brother Mustang to be so protective of this person. Since this is the case, I shall wait first. If during the recruitment test, I discover that there's someone who doesn't meet the requirements, don't blame me for being impolite. Let's begin." "You may begin." The 4 major powers all spoke. Very swiftly, 2 vertical stone mirrors appeared on the platform. From top to bottom, there were actually 9 dim halos that were similar in appearance. The stone mirror on the left emanated faint traces of heaven and earth yuan qi, while the stone mirror on the right emanated faint traces of astral energy. The first round of the examination will test your affinity with heaven and earth yuan qi as well as astral energy. One by one, you may begin. One of the participants spoke. This type of stone mirror was known as the Yuan viewing mirror and the astral viewing mirror. Only the major powers would have them, and they were used to test the talent of their disciples. For those from the 9 heavens continent, their affinity with heaven and earth yuan qi and astral energy was at least 1 star, and they were able to activate the halos at the bottom of the stone mirror. As long as one had an affinity with heaven and earth yuan qi, they would be able to absorb the yuan qi of heaven and earth to cultivate. However, if one wanted to become a stellar martial cultivator and communicate with the constellations in the heavens, they would need to have an affinity with astral energy of at least 3 stars. Hence, everyone from the 9 heavens continent could cultivate. However, it was extremely difficult to become a stellar martial cultivator. As for the reason, many people speculated that humans were born in this world, and the yuan qi of heaven and earth was everywhere. Naturally, it was easier to cultivate and absorb it. However, astral energy was different. It existed above the 9 heavenly layers. Naturally, regardless of whether it was the affinity with heaven and earth yuan qi or astral energy, they could all be nurtured later on. This was known as meditation. The stronger one's affinity with astral energy was, the better their talent would be. In the 9 heavens continent, there were many people with strong affinity with astral energy who condensed their astral souls at a later stage. This was because they hoped to improve their affinity with astral energy through meditation, allowing them to condense a higher grade of astral energy. At this moment, someone walked towards the yuan viewing mirror on the left, and placed his palm within the specially designed groove. Abruptly, a light flashed, and from the bottom to the top, 3 halos lit up. Affinity with heaven and earth yuan qi, 3-star talent. That person walked towards the astral viewing mirror and did the same thing. However, this time around, only 2 halos lit up, causing the participants on the platform to shake their heads. You, get off the platform. On the spectators' platform, a person selected by one of the 4 great academies indifferently stated. Momentarily, a look of disappointment appeared on the face of that young man, as he unwillingly walked down the platform. He had already failed the first round of the examination. The second person, affinity with heaven and earth yuan qi, 4-star talent. His affinity with astral energy, 2-star talent. This indicated that he had a high chance of becoming Wuxia, but if he wanted to become a stellar martial cultivator, it would be extremely difficult. Very quickly, 4 people were eliminated, causing the atmosphere in the arena to be filled with a sense of nervousness. The passing rate of the first round was actually so low. As expected of the famous academies in the Chu country. Chapter 12. Let me try. At this moment, the silhouette of a youth walked up. It was none other than Ning Feng from the Ning clan. Ning Feng, he should be able to pass. The eyes of the crowd flickered. Ning Feng first walked to the yuan observing mirror on the left, placing his palm on the groove. Abruptly, the 2 halos at the bottom of the mirror lit up, followed by the 3rd, the 4th, and very quickly, the 6th halo lit up. Affinity with heaven and earth, a 6-star talent. After which, he walked to the yuan observing mirror on the right and took the test again. 4 halos lit up, a 4-star talent, causing many to sigh in admiration. Ning Feng from the Ning clan was one of the 4 that had the highest chance of entering the academy today. On the viewing platform, the representatives from the 4 great powers all nodded their heads. Everyone had passed, and could proceed to the next round of examination. Ning Feng had a complacent smile on his face, as he walked to the other side of the crowd. Very quickly, the crowd stepped forward to test themselves. There were some who could satisfy the representatives of the 4 great academies, but there were also some who could only satisfy one of them. As long as they didn't reject all of them, they would have the qualifications to participate in the next round of examination. Chen Yu's affinity with heaven and earth is actually a 7-star talent, even higher than Ning Feng's. Although his affinity with astral light is only a 3-star talent, it was enough to cause the other 3 powers to nod their heads. Seems like it's indeed difficult to enter the Emperor Star Academy. Only stellar martial cultivators are accepted. The crowd discussed in a low voice. It was simply too difficult to enter the Emperor Star Academy. That was the cradle of geniuses. Lin Yu is the one that's awesome. Not only is she one of the 4 great beauties, her talent is also extremely high. Her affinity with astral light is actually a 6-star talent. No wonder she condensed her astral soul at the age of 13. So what? Next, it's all up to Autumn Snow. The gazes of the crowd shifted onto the last 2 who had yet to take the test, Autumn Snow and Qin Wentian. However, Qin Wentian was directly ignored by the crowd. Qin Wentian, look carefully. Autumn Snow turned her gaze over, as she indifferently glanced at Qin Wentian. After which, she lifted her feet and walked towards the Yuan observing mirror on the left. Placing her slender jade-like hands into the groove, 3 halos of light flickered. In an instant, a total of 7 halos of light shone. If it wasn't for the sake of meditating to increase my affinity with astral energy, I wouldn't be at my current cultivation base. She didn't even cast a glance at Qin Wentian. After which, she walked to the right side and did the same action. In an instant, numerous rings of light shone, as dazzling as the stars in the night sky. So dazzling. The crowd felt a piercing pain in their eyes. Very quickly, the 8 halos shone brightly, swallowing the light of the stars, causing many people in the stands to stand up in excitement. Affinity to Heaven and Earth Yuan Qi, 7-star talent, 8-star talent, demon-level talent. Silence. At this moment, the atmosphere was extremely quiet. Many people gasped. Autumn Snow, welcome to the Royal Academy. Talon smiled. This was only the first round of the examination, yet he had already extended an olive branch to Autumn Snow. The 7 Stars Martial House welcomes you. God Wind Academy sincerely invites you to become a member. Those beside Mustang also wanted to speak, but Mustang interrupted in a low voice, wait. This caused the countenance of that person to stiffen. Glancing at Mustang, he asked in a low voice, what do you mean by this? No rush. Mustang smiled, and didn't reply. Autumn Snow walked to the other side, as she turned her head and stared at Qin Wentian. Her arrogant eyes were filled with disdain, like a princess looking down at a suitor who didn't know the immensity of the heavens and the immensity of the earth. Qin Wentian calmly walked to the Yuan observing mirror on the left side, and placed his palms on it. 5 halos shone, causing the countenances of many to freeze. Qin Wentian actually had a 5-star talent. After which, Qin Wentian walked to the right side, and lightly placed his palms on the observing mirror. In an instant, 7 halos shone, causing the hearts of the crowd to tremble. Qin Wentian actually had a 5-star talent, 7-star talent. The pupils of the crowd narrowed, but at this moment, the 8th halo also shone. The astral light swept across the entire arena, causing the pupils of the crowd to shrink. How was this possible? Qin Wentian turned his gaze onto Autumn Snow, as he calmly asked, 8-star talent, is it very strong? As the sound of his voice faded, the last halo shone. Bzzz. Resplendent astral light cascaded downwards, competing with the brilliance of the sun. The 9 halos on the observing mirror all lit up. Kacha. A crisp sound rang out, as cracks appeared on the surface of the observing mirror. Abruptly, a beam of astral light shot up into the skies, and with a crisp sound, the observing mirror directly shattered. Qin Wentian still stood there, with his palms placed on the empty air, as he stared at Autumn Snow. Was an 8-star talent that amazing? Who? Mustang drew in a deep breath. The observing mirror was unable to withstand the might of a 9-star talent. His eyes were as bright as the stars in the night sky. What's going on? Beside Talon, his senior brother Cypher's countenance sank. A 9-star talent before the age of 16, if he became a stellar martial cultivator, his future would be smooth sailing. Upon hearing Cypher's question, Talon's countenance stiffened, as he replied in a low voice, Senior brother, this person was born with crippled meridians, and is unable to cultivate. Hence, he was chased out by the Bai clan, and today, the Bai clan is preparing to cancel the engagement. For such a person, even if he has a 9-star talent, it would still be useless. Cypher silently nodded his head. Sky Harmony City and the Bai clan wouldn't make a mistake. Autumn Snow also stared at Qin Wentian, as her beautiful eyes flickered. No wonder he was willing to guide her. His talent was indeed very high, but what use was it? Yi Wuke was the true genius, and was one of the 10 prodigies of the royal capital. Qin Wentian, you are unable to cultivate, and thus you are able to meditate quietly, without any distractions. Who would have thought that you would have such an affinity with others? To you, this is truly pitiful. Autumn Snow calmly spoke, as her countenance was as calm as ever. Next, in the second round of the examination, I will let you see how vast the gulf between us is. He he. Only to hear Talon laughing, as he continued, you will be considered to have passed the first round. However, the second round is a test of strength. Qin Wentian, if you fail to meet the requirements of the second round, you would be playing tricks on the 4 academies. I will let you know the consequences of deceiving us. Raise the drum. As the sound of his voice faded, a gigantic drum was carried onto the stage. This drum was erected vertically, with the face of the drum facing the person who had passed the first round. This was the demonic ox-hide drum, capable of testing one's strength. Qin Wentian calmly glanced at Talon. A 9-star talent, considered to have passed. Ridiculous. Qin Wentian swept his gaze across the surroundings. After the first round, there were only 9 people left on the stage. After this round of examination, almost all of them would be eliminated. The strength of 36 bulls was the minimum requirement to participate in the examination, but it didn't mean that those who possessed the strength of 36 bulls would definitely be accepted by the 4 academies. Every sound of the drum represents the strength of 10 bulls. Work hard, and try your best to sound the drum as many times as possible. Everyone has 3 chances. A voice drifted over. Momentarily, a person walked in front of the drum. Bending his body, he resembled an arrow that was ready to be fired. Abruptly, with a thunderous roar, he dashed out, his fists carrying a strong gust of wind as he punched towards the drum. Boom! The sound of the drum shook the heavens and earth. Every sound represented the strength of 10 bulls. Boom, boom. The second and third sound echoed out, as the reverberations of the drum lingered in the air. After which, the sound of the drum gradually died down. It seemed that the drum had yet to reach the 4th sound. Those from the 4 academies all shook their heads. This person's strength was insufficient to cause the drum to resound 4 times, and he didn't have the talent to become a stellar martial cultivator. Hence, he was eliminated. Let me try. Lin Yu stepped forward. Currently, she was suppressed by autumn snow, and felt extremely depressed. With a slight intention of her will, an astral rabbit appeared above her head. That was none other than her astral soul. The rabbit astral soul allowed her to have a strong and nimble physique. Her speed of movement was extremely fast, and her hearing was extremely sensitive. As Lin Yu dashed out, she was like a whirlwind, and with a boom, her fist instantly slammed into the drum. Boom, boom, boom. 6 consecutive sounds of the drum reverberated through the air. Lin Yu possessed the strength of 60 bulls. Although her petite frame seemed to be able to kill a ferocious beast with ease. She used all her strength on the first opportunity. Welcome to our 7 Stars Academy. The person from the 7 Stars Academy threw out an olive branch. Lin Yu's talent was indeed not bad, and was worth nurturing. The Divine Wind Academy welcomes you. The Divine Wind Academy spoke at the same time, causing a smile to appear on Lin Yu's face. Her gaze shifted towards the Royal Academy and the Emperor Star Academy, but these 2 academies still hadn't spoken a word. Lin Yu was slightly disappointed, as she replied, I will join the Divine Wind Academy. For the following examinations, only Chen Yu and Ning Feng received an invitation to join the 7 Stars Academy and the Divine Wind Academy respectively. However, the Royal Academy and Emperor Star Academy didn't extend an olive branch to them. It was as though they were only here for autumn snow. Even with the talent of Lin Yu and the other 2, they weren't moved at all. After that, only autumn snow and Qin Wentian remained. Qin Wentian, open your eyes wide and watch carefully. Autumn Snow indifferently said to Qin Wentian. After which, she walked towards the drum and punched out with a simple and unadorned fist. The drum reverberated 5 times, shaking the heavens and earth, 7th level of the body refinement realm, autumn snow. A casual punch from her already possesses the strength of 50 bulls. This means that she has already reached the 7th level of the body refinement realm. How terrifying. It said that she spent a lot of time meditating, which delayed her cultivation. If not, her cultivation base would have been even higher. For martial practitioners who cultivated in heaven and earth's energy, the corresponding strengths of the 9 realms of body refinement were, the strength of 1 bull, the strength of 4 bulls, the strength of 9 bulls, the strength of 16 bulls, the strength of 25 bulls, the 7th stage realm was the strength of 49 bulls. To stellar martial cultivators, astral souls were able to greatly amplify one's strength. Different types of astral souls and different levels of astral souls would all have different amplification effects. Hence, there was no standard definition of strength, but one thing was for sure, Wuxia would be much stronger than an ordinary Wuxia. Autumn Snow calmly gazed at Qin Wentian. She retreated and released her astral soul, the golden crane astral soul. The faint golden halo around the edges of her astral soul showed signs of solidification, indicating that her astral soul originated from the 3rd heavenly layer. Cranes cry in the wilderness. Autumn Snow coldly shouted. Her entire person was akin to a demonic crane pouncing on its prey. In an instant, she struck out with her claws, akin to a bolt of lightning. A thunderous rumble rang out, as though thunder had descended from the heavens, causing the eardrums of the spectators to tremble. Dong, dong, dong. In an instant, the sound of the drum reverberated through the air for a total of 5 times. Dong. The sound of the drum reverberated through the heavens and earth. This was already the 6th reverberation. On the viewing platform, the spectators all stood up, solemnly and respectfully. Genius, she was definitely a genius. The lingering sound of the drum lingered in the air, accompanied by the sound of dong. When the 7th reverberation rang out, it was as though the entire heavens and earth had been engulfed by a hurricane, sweeping across the heavens and earth. 7 reverberations, the strength of 70 bulls. This was the terrifying amplification effect brought about by the combination of astral souls and proficient moves. Even the cowhide drum made from the skin of a demonic bull seemed to be on the verge of collapse. Not only that, because Autumn Snow had always cultivated the yuan qi of heaven and earth, she was only able to reach the 7th level of the body refinement realm. If she had condensed her astral soul and bitterly cultivated the astral energy in her body to reach this level, with the help of her astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer, her strength would have been even greater. The spectators couldn't help but be dazed as they stared at the peerless beauty on the stage. Beside her, Qin Wentian seemed so tiny and insignificant compared to her. Just like what she had said, in the 2nd round of the examination, she would let Qin Wentian see how great the disparity between the two of them was. Chapter 13. In the spectator stands, the spectators inclined their heads and stared at the skies. The reverberations of the drums were still reverberating in the air, as though there was a terrifying current of energy circulating in the air. Demonic genius, no wonder Yi Wuke from the Yi clan didn't hesitate to give up the chance to form a marriage alliance with the royal clan, and chose Autumn Snow instead. This phoenix amongst women, her future achievements wouldn't be any less than Yi Wuke's. Cipher of the Royal Academy silently mused. Autumn Snow, if you join the Royal Academy, I can immediately bestow upon you a Yuanfu realm cultivation art, as well as 3 powerful innate techniques. How about it? Xingfeng stated, officially extending an olive branch to Autumn Snow. What do you think? My Divine Wind Academy is also willing to provide you with a Yuanfu realm cultivation art, 3 powerful innate techniques, and will also invite a Doyen Elder of the Divine Wind Academy to personally guide you. The Divine Wind Academy offered even more enticing conditions. The 7 Stars Academy can provide you with 3 Yuanfu realm cultivation arts and 3 powerful innate techniques. In addition, you will have the privilege of bringing 5 members of your clan into the 7 Stars Academy to cultivate. The 7 Stars Academy was not only willing to nurture Autumn Snow, they even gave her the privilege of developing her clan. The Emperor Star Academy welcomes you. Those standing beside Mustang couldn't help but to open their mouths, causing a smile to blossom on Autumn Snow's face. All 4 great academies were inviting her at the same time. Seeing the silhouette standing up from the spectator stands, Autumn Snow didn't immediately agree. Instead, she turned and looked at Qin Wentian as she calmly stated, "Do you understand now?" "Understand what?" Qin Wentian countered. "The so-called marriage, in the face of absolute disparity, is nothing but a joke. In the future, just live the life of an ordinary person." Autumn Snow calmly continued, "My life and yours are destined to be 2 parallel lines that will never intersect." After which, Autumn Snow turned and walked towards the direction of the spectator stands. The gazes of the crowd were fixated on her, wanting to see who she would choose. "Wait." At this moment, Qin Wentian's voice sounded out. Autumn Snow turned around and stared at Qin Wentian, only to see a hint of a smile in his eyes, causing her to be stunned. "Your test has ended, but I have yet to begin." Qin Wentian calmly stated, his words causing Autumn Snow's countenance to freeze. He actually wanted to give it a try. Only to see Qin Wentian walking in front of the drum, drawing in a deep breath. Currently, his cultivation base was at the 5th level of the body refinement realm. Even if the Heavenly Hammer constellation gave him a huge boost, there was still a gap between his strength and Autumn Snow's. But now, the only thing he could do was to give it his all, and fight with his life on the line. The difference between the 2 levels was extremely great. For ordinary cultivators at the 5th level of the body refinement realm, they would only have the strength of 25 bulls. But for Qin Wentian, he was a pure stellar martial cultivator. Not only that, he had already condensed an astral soul from the 5th heavenly layer, and condensed a tyrannical Heavenly Hammer astral soul. The vast amount of astral energy from his astral soul allowed him to unleash more than double his normal strength, reaching the strength of 50 bulls. In addition to the fact that he had been practicing the dragon subduing fist for the past few days, he had already familiarized himself with the stances of the dragon subduing fist. This was sufficient to further increase his strength, reducing the gap between him and Autumn Snow. Hence, this time around, he had to give it his all. "Humph." Talon coldly snorted. If Qin Wentian failed to strike the drum thrice, he would definitely teach Qin Wentian a lesson. Mustang's eyes narrowed as he smiled. It was as though he could already smell the aura of a rising lion. Not only that, Qin Chuan's countenance fluctuated. Could it be that Qin Wentian had truly broken through the restrictions of his terminated meridians and stepped onto the path of cultivation? Qin Wentian gazed at the drum in front of him. At this moment, he had entered into an ethereal state, forgetting everything else. It was as though he wanted to vent all the humiliation he had suffered during the past few days onto the drum. Abruptly, Qin Wentian moved. His fists were like the wind, directly slamming onto the drum. Boom, boom, boom. The drum thrice sounded out. Although it was an ordinary sound, it still caused the expressions of many to freeze. Qin Wentian, who had crippled meridians, had actually managed to strike the drum thrice. This meant that Qin Wentian possessed the strength of 30 bulls. Wentian. Qin Chuan's body violently trembled. To him, the sound of the drum thrice was akin to the sound of the heavens. Beside Qin Chuan, Qin Yao's fists were tightly clenched. Qin Wentian had managed to strike the drum thrice. Talon, Bai Qingsong, Autumn Snow and the rest froze in shock. However, after a brief moment of shock, their countenances returned to normal. So what if it was 3 reverberations? It was merely the strength of 30 bulls. Maybe Qin Wentian had cultivated the yuan qi of heaven and earth. Qin Wentian's body emitted cracking sounds. His entire body seemed to be filled with boundless energy. His astral meridians transformed into a whirlpool as the astral energy from the astral meridians flowed frenziedly into Qin Wentian's arms, causing the clenched fists of Qin Wentian to emit cracking sounds. Raging dragon emerges from the seas. At this moment, Qin Wentian was akin to an enraged dragon, breaking through the seas. Gathering boundless energy into his fists, he ferociously slammed them onto the drum. Boom! The sound of the drum shook the heavens, causing the eardrums of the spectators to ache. Boom, boom, boom. The sound of the drum didn't stop, and in the blink of an eye, it had reached the fourth reverberation. Qin Wentian was completely immersed in the rhythm of the drum, as though he was one with it. The fearsome reverberation force blasted against his body, and the sound of the drum shook his soul. His bones unceasingly emitted crackling sounds, and a transformation occurred within his body. His muscles and bones felt as though they were being cleansed, as though he had been reborn. This was a breakthrough. However, the sound of his bones was completely overshadowed by the sound of the drum. As the fifth reverberation reverberated, the spectators in the spectator stands were shaken. Qin Wentian had managed to strike the drum 5 times, and the aftershock of the sound wave still lingered in the air. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with a smile. He wasn't disappointed in the slightest. He didn't expect that he would break through to the 6th level of the body refinement realm at this moment. It seemed like the energy from the Yuan meteor stone had not been wasted. Good! Qin Chuan couldn't help but exclaim in joy. 5 reverberations, equivalent to the strength of 50 bulls. The slumbering genius had finally awoken. There's actually a 5th reverberation. The countenances of Bai Qingsong and the rest froze. Evidently, they hadn't expected that Qin Wentian would be able to strike the drum 5 times. You actually hid the fact that you've cultivated the Yuan Qi of heaven and earth from me, yet you didn't allow me to absorb it. How ridiculous! Autumn Snow stared at Qin Wentian. With the strength of 50 bulls, Qin Wentian's cultivation base could very well be at the 7th level of the body refinement realm or even higher. However, he had yet to condense an astral soul. This meant that Qin Wentian had always been cultivating the Yuan Qi of heaven and earth. She would never have imagined that Qin Wentian only used a short 7 days to reach his current level of cultivation. She would also never have imagined that a pure stellar martial cultivator, with the astral energy from the 5th heavenly layer tempered and tempered over and over again, would have such a perfect physique, and how powerful the amplification of strength would be. How pitiful! Qin Wentian stared at Autumn Snow, as he indifferently remarked. Abruptly, the astral light from the astral constellation shone resplendently. Above Qin Wentian's head, an astral soul was condensed. That astral soul was in the form of a gigantic hammer, surrounded by a faint golden halo of light. Not only that, it was even more resplendent compared to Autumn Snow's astral soul, and the amount of astral energy contained within it was even greater as well. Boom! Abruptly, the entire space trembled. Astral soul, oh my god! Qin Wentian not only unleashed a strength of 50 bulls, he had even condensed an astral soul. He was a stellar martial cultivator. One must know that the talent displayed by Qin Wentian in the aspect of affinity for astral energy had already surpassed 9 stars. This astral soul was definitely condensed from an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer. It's even brighter than Autumn Snow's astral soul. The hearts of the spectators trembled violently. A talent that surpassed 9 stars, and an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer. At this moment, the halo of light that enveloped Qin Wentian's body seemed to be able to suppress Autumn Snow. Good, good. Qin Chuan couldn't help but shout out. He felt as though he had exhaled all the depressed feelings in his chest. This was too refreshing, a stellar martial cultivator with a talent that surpassed 9 stars, and an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer. Who said that my son, Qin Wentian, isn't worthy of Autumn Snow? Is she worthy of my son, Qin Wentian? Qin Chuan coldly spat out, as he swept his gaze onto Bai Qingsong. At this moment, Bai Qingsong's eyes were filled with amazement, as though he couldn't believe what he was seeing. How could this be possible? Those from the 4 great academies all stood up once again, as they stared at the astral soul hovering above Qin Wentian's head. That glow was so dazzling, so resplendent. Who? A true demon-level genius has finally been born. Mustang drew in a deep breath, as his gaze blazed with passion. He was the first to know of Qin Wentian's existence. This sleeping dragon had finally awoken. The Emperor Star Academy welcomes you as a member. Mustang smiled, and was the first to issue an invitation. However, at this moment, it was as though Qin Wentian didn't hear it. His gaze was fixed on Autumn Snow, as a cold smile appeared on his face. I really want to ask the Bai clan, how did I scheme against you, Autumn Snow? And what qualifications do you have to teach me? As the sound of his voice faded, Qin Wentian drew in a deep breath, as the astral energy within his body transformed into a terrifying vortex, gathering into his arms, as though it was about to explode. His fist transformed into a heavenly hammer, as though it had transformed into a soaring dragon. The dragon soared through the skies, its aura surged, containing boundless might. The heavenly hammer and the dragon's incarnation smashed downwards, slamming onto the drum. This was the strongest strike he could muster, as though he wanted to exhaust all the energy in his body. Boom, 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 boom. The heavens and earth trembled, as the sound of the drum shook the heavens. 5 consecutive reverberations rang out, causing the winds and clouds to change. Boom. The 6th reverberation was akin to the galloping of 10,000 horses, causing the hearts of people to tremble. Boom. As the 7th reverberation rang out, the hearts and bodies of the spectators trembled simultaneously. This reverberation had tied with Autumn Snow's record. What was even more terrifying was that the reverberations of the drum still lingered in the air. Boom. As the 8th reverberation rang out, the spectators felt as though they couldn't hear anything. They could only feel a raging wind blowing past their faces, while their hearts had already turned numb. This gale of wind also blew onto Autumn Snow's face. The 8th reverberation was akin to a ruthless slap on her face, so shocking, so resounding. Next, in the 2nd round of the examination, I will let you see how vast the gulf between us is. My life is destined to be 2 parallel lines that will never intersect with yours. Autumn Snow's words were still ringing in his ears, but at this moment, they were so pale. Roar. A roar of rage rang out in unison. The soldiers of the Qin clan roared in unison, akin to the roar of a dragon. In this entire heavens and earth, it was as though only Qin Wentian's halo existed. Autumn Snow's radiance, along with the sound of the 8th reverberation, was completely suppressed. Whether it was talent or strength, she couldn't be compared to Qin Wentian in any aspect. Mustang's gaze grew even more fiery. Drawing in a deep breath, a look of determination flashed in his eyes as he spoke. The Emperor Star Academy has decided to retract their earlier words, and reject the invitation to Autumn Snow. Qin Wentian, on behalf of the Emperor Star Academy, I would like to once again invite you to join us. Those beside him glanced at Mustang, their eyes gleaming with sharpness. After which, they silently nodded in their hearts. Between the 2 geniuses, it was obvious that Qin Wentian was more dazzling. But now, they had chosen Qin Wentian instead of Autumn Snow. Because of Qin Wentian, the Emperor Star Academy has rejected Autumn Snow. This voice caused the hearts of the spectators to tremble. Everything that happened today was so dramatic, so fascinating. Chapter 14. Qin Wentian stood there, gazing at Autumn Snow. His eyes shone with a hint of sharpness, the sharpness of a youth. If it weren't for the fact that he had broken through to the 6th level of the body refinement realm, it would have been difficult for Qin Wentian to achieve the 8 reverberations of the drums. Ordinary cultivators at the 6th level of the body refinement realm would have the strength of 36 bulls. Qin Wentian had the incomparably tyrannical heavenly hammer astral soul, and in addition to the violent astral energy he had gathered, he was able to explode forth with twice the strength of an ordinary cultivator at the 6th level of the body refinement realm. In addition to the amplification from the dragon subduing fists, his strength had reached the terrifying strength of 80 bulls. Qin Wentian stared at autumn snow, not saying a word. The heavenly hammer astral soul hovering above his head was more persuasive than any words. The 8 reverberations of the drums were more powerful than any words. He, Qin Wentian, used his actions to tell autumn snow, who was unworthy of whom. At this moment, autumn snow was somewhat numb. When the 8 reverberations of the drums and the release of the heavenly hammer astral soul, she didn't dare to believe that it was real. Qin Wentian was even more talented than her, even more monstrous. Today, the major powers of the royal capital, as well as the 4 great academies of the royal capital, had gathered. The Bai clan wanted to use this opportunity to announce Autumn Snow's talent to the people of the Sky Harmony City. They wanted to tell everyone that she, Autumn Snow, wasn't worthy of Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian merely wanted to curry favor with the dragon and the phoenix. If Qin Wentian was still the trash that couldn't cultivate, then everything that the Bai clan wanted to see would naturally come to fruition. Everyone would think that Qin Wentian didn't even have the qualifications to carry Autumn Snow's shoes, let alone become her husband. That would be an insult to Autumn Snow. The Qin clan, Qin Wentian, wanting to curry favor with the Bai clan, was simply the ravings of a lunatic, unrealistic. Sadly, the truth was even more fascinating than what they had imagined. Now, who would dare to say that Qin Wentian wasn't worthy of Autumn Snow? He had a talent that surpassed 9 stars, could communicate with the stars in the 3rd heaven, and could beat the drum 8 times. Who could compete with him? Qin Wentian, you're really scheming to hide your cultivation. Bai Qingsong stared coldly at Qin Wentian. At this moment, there was no turning back, and regret was useless. The only thing he could do was to cling on to the Yi family. Even if Qin Wentian's talent was extraordinary, so what? He believed that Autumn Snow wouldn't lose out to Qin Wentian by too much. Not to mention, the Yi family was a huge power. Qin Wentian raised his head and looked at Bai Qingsong, somewhat speechless. Bai Qingsong's own heart was so dark, yet he imagined him to be a scheming person. Ridiculous. 7 days ago, I helped guide Autumn Snow to condense an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer, allowing her to condense an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer. In a single night, Autumn Snow became a genius that shocked the entire Chu country. I'm very happy that I was able to help her. However, never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that from that day onwards, your attitude towards me would completely change. You even ordered your men to imprison me, but I still thought that on your birthday, which is today, I would condense an astral soul and make you happy. Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that Uncle Bai, who had always been so kind to me, would actually bring people to kill me. And the purpose of killing me was to curry favor with the Yi clan. Because of the relationship between the Qin clan and the Yi clan, Uncle Bai wanted to kill me to show your attitude. Naturally, this was also to pave the way for Autumn Snow to marry Yi Wuke. Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that Uncle Bai, whom I've known for 3 years, would be so despicable and sinister. I condensed an astral soul in advance, and even forgot to eat and sleep in order to escape from the Bai clan. And today, I arrived here. Autumn Snow said that I've concealed the fact that I've cultivated the Yuan Qi of heaven and earth, while you also thought that I was scheming and had secretly cultivated it. How ridiculous is this? Qin Wentian slowly spoke, revealing the truth in front of the eyes of the crowd. When they stared at Qin Wentian, they could only feel that the image of this youth had grown imperceptibly taller. The halo of light around his astral soul grew even brighter. Compared to Qin Wentian, the halo of light around Autumn Snow's body grew dimmer and dimmer. The Bai clan was too despicable. Wentian, in these 3 years, everyone in Sky Harmony City has witnessed how my Qin clan has treated the Bai clan. However, with the things they've done today, is there still a need to doubt that they are despicable? No matter how magnanimous you are, they will still use their own dark hearts to judge you. On the spectators' platform, Qin Chuan continued Qin Wentian's words. He slowly walked down the platform, arriving at the training grounds as he continued, such a despicable clan, how can I, Qin Chuan, laugh at the fact that I, Qin Chuan, actually agreed to marry my son to them. This is my, Qin Chuan's, mistake. Autumn Snow, what qualifications does she have to be worthy of my son, Qin Wentian? As the sound of his voice faded, a powerful aura gushed forth from Qin Chuan's body. In an instant, Qin Chuan's yuan energy circulated around his body, rampaging through the air. Qin Chuan waved his palms, as the violent yuan energy converged into a gigantic sword, slashing down towards the training grounds. The gigantic sword slashed down, causing the hearts of the spectators to tremble violently. 3 years ago, I agreed to the Bai clan's marriage, and I almost made a huge mistake. Today, I, Qin Chuan, announced to the entire Sky Harmony City that this marriage is annulled. Autumn Snow is not allowed to take even half a step into my Qin clan. Silence filled the air. Today, who was the one who annulled the marriage? The winner was the king, and the loser was the thief. Talent was the proof of everything. The Qin clan annulled the marriage in a forthright manner, and who would dare to gossip about it? If Qin Wentian still couldn't cultivate, based on Autumn Snow's talent, who would dare to question the Bai clan annulling the marriage? Autumn Snow's countenance contorted due to her anger. Today, she was supposed to display her prowess, and let everyone know that Qin Wentian wasn't worthy of her. However, Qin Wentian's talent had caused everything to go in the opposite direction. Qin Chuan's words, to her, was an absolute humiliation. Not only that, earlier, because of Qin Wentian, Mustang had rejected Autumn Snow. Today, was supposed to be the day that she, Autumn Snow, would shine brightly. However, it had also become the day that she suffered the greatest humiliation. All because, there was one person, the person that she wanted to humiliate, who had surpassed her. Qin Wentian. Autumn Snow spat out, as she stared at Qin Wentian with an ice-cold gaze, as cold as ice. The humiliation you've given me today, I'll definitely return it to you in double. Autumn Snow's voice was so cold that it pierced into the bones. Her gaze was resolute. She had never imagined that the most glorious day of her life would turn into the most humiliating day. The humiliation I've given you? Qin Wentian laughed, your Bai clan has treated me this way, and yet you still have the face to say such words. All the humiliation you've suffered, was all because you wanted to inflict it on me. And now, you're the one who has to bear it. If not for the actions of your Bai clan, everything that has happened today would have made your Bai clan even more dazzling. The words of Qin Wentian weren't wrong. The humiliation Autumn Snow had suffered, was originally what the Bai clan wanted to do to Qin Wentian. But because of Qin Wentian's radiance, the Bai clan reaped what they sowed. Qin Wentian continued to stare at Autumn Snow. Closing his eyes, he continued, from today onwards, you and I, as well as the Bai clan, are no longer friends. If you continue to humiliate and anger me, I'll definitely return it to you in double. Scram! Qin Wentian roared in rage, as the sound of his voice rumbled like waves, violently slamming into Autumn Snow's face, causing her to feel a burning sensation. The word scram was like a slap to her face. It was even more forceful than the words she had said to Qin Wentian earlier. Staring at Qin Wentian, Autumn Snow fell silent for a moment before replying, I, Autumn Snow, agree to the conditions of the Royal Academy, and am willing to join the Royal Academy of Chu. Upon hearing the words of Autumn Snow, Cypher wasn't as excited as he had imagined. Instead, he coldly glanced at Talon, causing Talon's countenance to turn extremely unsightly. They had obtained Autumn Snow, and by right, they should be indescribably excited. After all, the reason they came here was because of autumn snow. However, because they had personally witnessed an even more monstrous existence, and this person was an enemy of autumn snow, the excitement they felt was reduced to the lowest possible level. Talon, look at what you've done. Cypher spoke in a low voice, causing Talon's heart to tremble. Cypher knew that Talon had definitely offended Qin Wentian. If he were to snatch autumn snow away from the Emperor Star Academy, he would have no hope at all. Thus, he could only settle for the next best option, and choose autumn snow. Seeing that Cypher and Talon didn't show any signs of welcome, and were instead whispering to each other, Autumn Snow couldn't help but feel even more humiliated. Autumn Snow, welcome to our academy. Next year, at the start of spring, the Royal Academy will officially accept disciples from the 8 great powers. Just bring this along and register. Cypher's palms trembled, as a golden-colored medallion flew towards Autumn Snow. Autumn Snow caught hold of the medallion, only to see the words Royal Clan engraved on it. Qin Wentian, the road ahead is still very long. Autumn Snow tightly grasped the medallion, as she silently vowed in her heart. She definitely had to wash away the humiliation she had suffered today. Qin Wentian, my Divine Wind Academy will promise you double the benefits offered to Autumn Snow. Same goes for my 7 Stars Academy. At this moment, the representatives of the Divine Wind Academy and 7 Stars Academy spoke out. The importance they placed on Qin Wentian was double that of Autumn Snow. Today, Qin Wentian's name would definitely spread throughout the entire Sky Harmony City. Qin Wentian, my Emperor Star Academy has never made any promises. The words Emperor Star Academy is the best promise we can make. Mustang calmly stated. This was his self-confidence. The words Emperor Star Academy represented everything. Upon hearing Mustang's solemn words, the hearts of the crowd couldn't help but shiver. The Emperor Star Academy was indeed extraordinary. However, Qin Wentian's gaze shifted towards the direction of the Divine Wind Academy and the 7 Stars Academy, causing Mustang's countenance to stiffen. He couldn't help but feel depressed. His words were so beautiful, but when dealing with a young and immature youth like Qin Wentian, it should have worked every single time. No way, how can I let such a genius slip away? Mustang sighed in his heart, before continuing with a solemn countenance, of course, if you have any requests, just tell me. Whatever I can provide, I will definitely not be inferior to the other academies. The crowd was dumbfounded upon hearing this. Even Qin Wentian was stunned for a moment before he laughed. This Mustang was really interesting. However, Qin Wentian still bowed in the direction of the Divine Wind Academy and the 7 Stars Academy. Qin Wentian, what conditions do you have? Just say it, I will agree to it. Mustang's fake expression completely crumbled, as he looked pitifully at Qin Wentian. Even if he had to lose some face, he couldn't allow Qin Wentian to escape. Seeing the expression on Mustang's face, the crowd couldn't help but perspire. Was this the same Mustang who had solemnly stated that the Emperor Star Academy was the best choice? Qin Wentian thanks the Divine Wind Academy and the 7 Stars Academy for their generosity. Qin Wentian's words caused Mustang's heart to leap up to his throat. It's just that this junior's fate is shallow, and I'm still willing to choose the Emperor Star Academy. Qin Wentian spoke again, as he lifted his head with a smile on his face. The people from the Divine Wind Academy and the 7 Stars Academy felt extremely disappointed, but they understood Qin Wentian's decision. In their hearts, they silently thought, not only is Qin Wentian's talent outstanding, he is also humble and upright. He is not someone Autumn Snow can be compared to. In the future, he will definitely become someone great. I hope that you will become a powerhouse of your generation. The people from the 2 powers all gave their blessings to Qin Wentian. Many thanks. Qin Wentian expressed his thanks, as he looked at Mustang. Mustang rolled his eyes as he scolded in a low voice, "Smelly brat, when we enter the academy, I will teach you a lesson. I hope Brother Mustang will be able to guide this little brat. Qin Chuan naturally knew that Mustang didn't have any ill intentions, as he laughed uproariously. Mustang also laughed. Today was simply too enjoyable. Although there were some twists and turns, it was still rather interesting. Chapter 15. For Bai Qingsong's birthday banquet, people from the royal capital, including the 4 great academies, gathered here. However, the most dazzling figure wasn't the Bai clan, nor was it Autumn Snow, but rather, Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian had obtained the qualifications to enroll into the Emperor Star Academy, while Autumn Snow would enter the Royal Academy. However, this wasn't a happy ending for everyone, because other than Mustang and those from the Qin clan being happy, it was against the wishes of a certain expert in the spectator stands. Royal Capital, Tulip Clan. At this moment, the old man from the Yi clan was extremely unhappy. He was unhappy, and so were those from the royal capital. After all, they came here to celebrate Bai Qingsong's birthday banquet because of the Yi clan. Originally, after Autumn Snow severed all ties with the Qin clan, it would be the day of the marriage between the Yi and Bai clans. However, the direction of events was the complete opposite of what they had planned. At this moment, the old man from the Yi clan gazed at the excited Qin Chuan and the rest, as a cold light flashed in his eyes. After which, he indifferently glanced at Bai Qingsong. Are you wavering? Bai Qingsong's countenance trembled as he stared at the old man from the Yi clan. Although he hated Qin Wentian, his heart was wavering as well. If not for the events that transpired a few days ago, perhaps what Qin Wentian had said would be true. Today, Qin Wentian's talent would cause the Bai clan to be even more dazzling than before, and the marriage between Qin Wentian and Autumn Snow would also be a story that would spread far and wide. Father. At this moment, Autumn Snow had also arrived. As she gazed at her father, a hint of loneliness could be seen in her eyes. The Yi clan will delay the announcement of the marriage between Autumn Snow and Wuk. The eyes of the old man from the Yi clan stared straight ahead as he spoke in a low voice. His words caused Bai Qingsong and Autumn Snow's countenances to stiffen. Today, Qin Chuan's words had caused Autumn Snow's face to fall to the ground. If the Yi clan were to accept the marriage at this moment, they would undoubtedly be criticized by others. They would say that the Yi clan was the one who had abandoned the Qin clan. But Bai Qingsong's countenance was extremely unsightly to behold. Now that they had completely fallen out with the Qin clan, if they were to lose the support of the Yi clan, it would be extremely difficult for them to establish a foothold in Sky Harmony City. Not only that, Qin Wentian had already given Autumn Snow such a deep humiliation. Now that the Yi clan had acted in such a manner, in addition to the actions of the various academies, the impact on Autumn Snow's morale was like adding snow to snow. No buts. I will arrange everything properly. The Qin mansion will become history. The old man from the Yi clan spoke in a light voice, as a cold glint flashed in his eyes. This caused Bai Qingsong and his daughter to sigh in their hearts. The Yi clan wasn't so easy to deal with. It was impossible for them to treat them the way the Qin clan treated them. Autumn Snow, you have to work hard in your cultivation. Bai Qingsong silently said in his heart. Autumn Snow seemed to be able to understand the look in her father's eyes. She clenched her fists tightly. Today, the Yi clan had delayed the marriage announcement. In the future, she would definitely make the Yi clan regret their actions today. Not only that, the Qin clan and Qin Wentian would also be involved. Shifting their gazes, Autumn Snow and the rest once again looked at the training grounds. The old man from the Yi clan, upon seeing the complacent expressions on the faces of those from the Qin clan, couldn't help but to say in a cold voice, just revealing a little bit of talent, and yet they are already so complacent. No wonder the Qin clan, after Qin Wu's death, has declined generation after generation. To think that even today, they still don't know how to repent. How lamentable. Qin Chuan's countenance abruptly stiffened, as his sharp eyes stared at the spectator stands. The decline of the Qin clan was something that all the major powers in the Chu capital knew very well. Since the emperor wanted the Qin clan to fall, how could they not do so? And this was also the time when the Yi clan rose to prominence. The emperor had intentionally supported the Yi clan, suppressing the Qin clan, stepping on the Qin clan to climb up the rank step by step. An innate talent with an affinity for astral energy exceeding 9 stars, and his first astral soul was condensed from an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer. Even Yi Wuke from the Yi clan is only a so-so. Now that you're saying such words, aren't you a joke? Qin Chuan stared at the old man in the spectator stands, as he coldly replied. Ridiculous. The eyes of the old man from the Yi clan were as calm as ever, without the slightest fluctuation. He casually continued, when Yi Wuke was 15 years old, he had already opened his 2nd astral gate and condensed his 2nd astral soul. Not only that, his 2nd astral soul was condensed from an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer. As for that Qin Wentian, when he was 15 years old, he was still painstakingly meditating to increase his affinity for astral energy in order to condense an astral soul from the 3rd heavenly layer. How can he be compared to Yi Wuke? The calm voice of the old man from the Yi clan contained an unquestionable tone, causing the hearts of the spectators to shiver. Meditating could increase one's affinity for astral energy, which was why there were many cultivators who chose to delay condensing their astral souls in order to condense an astral soul from a higher-level astral soul. Autumn Snow and Qin Wentian were probably the same. Indeed, they were still inferior to Yi Wuke. Yi Wuke from the Yi clan is too dazzling, so dazzling that no one can hope to surpass him. Many in the crowd silently mused. Yi Wuke was a demon-level genius who had the potential to step into Yuanfu before the age of 20. Qin Chuan had no way to refute the words of the old man. After all, Qin Wentian's cultivation had only just begun. Nobody knew that Qin Wentian's first astral soul originated from the 5th heavenly layer. Not only that, how many days had it been since he condensed his astral soul to his current level of cultivation? However, at this moment, the old man from the Yi clan continued, staring at Qin Wentian as he continued, Qin Wentian possesses extraordinary talent and has already condensed an astral soul. He's worthy of being nurtured. I believe that the most suitable place for him isn't the Emperor Star Academy, but rather, the godly General Martial Palace of Chu. No way. Qin Chuan decisively rejected the old man's words. Whichever academy Qin Wentian wishes to join, it's up to him. It's not up to the Yi clan to tell him what to do. The pupils of some of the more knowledgeable people narrowed. The godly General Martial Palace was a martial palace specially created to nurture the elites of the Chu country. It was a powerful weapon of the Chu country, and many military officers, regardless of their rank, graduated from the godly General Martial Palace. It was a purely military martial palace, and was not open to the public. Only those with outstanding talent could enter. Back then, Qin Wu swept unhindered through the Chu country. Other than his monstrous martial prowess, another important reason was that Qin Wu was the controller of the godly General Martial Palace. The godly General Martial Palace was also the first target of the current His Majesty. Now that the godly General Martial Palace was firmly under the control of the His Majesty, how could Qin Wentian enter? Humph, the ancestor of the Qin clan, Qin Wu, was loyal to the Emperor and the godly General Martial Palace. But now, the descendant of the Qin clan has actually forgotten his ancestor, and is unwilling to enter the godly General Martial Palace. This is simply a humiliation to the ancestors. The old man from the Yi clan coldly snorted. At this moment, Mustang was also extremely unhappy. He didn't expect the Yi clan to have such a sinister move. Qin Wentian has already agreed to enter my Emperor Star Academy. Yi Mo, now you want him to join the godly General Martial Palace. What is the meaning of this? Mustang's voice contained traces of coldness. Qin Wentian has yet to officially enter the Emperor Star Academy. He is still a free man, and cannot be considered a member of the Emperor Star Academy. Yi Mo stared straight at Mustang, as he calmly continued, hence, his future path has yet to be determined. Not only that, it wasn't my intention to allow him to join the godly General Martial Palace. As he spoke, the corners of Yi Mo's mouth curled up in a cold smile. He glanced at Ice Hawk, who stood beside him, only to see Ice Hawk standing up and walking a few steps forward, retrieving an imperial decree from his robes. Smiling coldly at Qin Chuan, he stated, "This is the imperial decree of His Majesty. Do you want me to read it, or do you want me to read it personally?" Qin Chuan's countenance froze. The current His Majesty had finally stepped out, and was going to deal a fatal blow to his Qin clan. So it turned out that the reason why Yi Mo, Ice Hawk and the rest personally came to the Sky Harmony City wasn't for autumn snow, but for the sake of his Qin clan. Qin Wentian's talent had only caused the Yi clan to be in an awkward position, but it wouldn't obstruct the purpose of his visit. Read it then. Qin Chuan's heart turned cold. Ice Hawk coldly laughed, as he continued, "The imperial decree of His Majesty." In the past, Qin Wu's achievements were outstanding, and his name shook the four corners of the world. In consideration of Qin Wu's achievements, the previous emperor conferred the title of Martial King to Qin Wu, but it wasn't enough to commend him for his contributions to the country. Now that the Qin clan has gradually declined, I feel deeply ashamed to face Martial King. Today, I hereby decree that all the outstanding talents of the Qin clan shall be directly sent to the godly General Martial Palace for cultivation. As for the outstanding talents of the Qin clan, Ice Hawk shall also be allowed to bring them into the Silver Feather Knight Regiment for training. The Yi clan and Ice Hawk shall jointly select the outstanding talents of the Qin clan. When the members of the Qin clan heard the contents of the imperial decree, their bodies trembled in anger. Commending Qin Wu's past achievements. This was obviously taking drastic measures to remove the firewood from the bottom of the cauldron. Taking away the talented youths of the Qin clan, and even ordering Ice Hawk to bring the Qin clan's private army into the Silver Feather Knight Regiment as he pleased. If this was the case, the Qin clan would no longer have any hope left. If the spirits of the ancestors were still alive, they would definitely thank His Majesty for his benevolence. Qin Chuan was infuriated to the extreme, yet he managed to calm himself down, as he spoke sarcastically. The population of the Chu country was in the trillions, and it was unknown how many clans there were. The country was the strongest power, but even so, it wouldn't interfere in the matters of the clans within the borders of the Chu country. However, the Qin clan was different. The Qin clan was a clan of generals, and they were part of the country. Hence, the Chu royal palace could directly issue an imperial decree to the Qin clan. Obeying the imperial decree was their responsibility. Qin Wentian, who was standing beside Qin Chuan, also felt a wave of sorrow. This time around, the Yi clan and Ice Hawk had obviously come prepared. Coincidentally, Qin Wentian had displayed his talent. How could the Yi clan let this opportunity slip by? Back then, His Majesty used the title of a martial king to banish the members of the Qin clan to the Sky Harmony City. And now, he's prepared to use a similar gift to deprive the Qin clan of all hope. Qin Wentian silently speculated in his heart. If the Qin clan disobeyed, it would be equivalent to disobeying His Majesty's imperial decree, and the people brought by Ice Hawk would be of use. How should the Qin clan choose? Continue to obey His Majesty's imperial decree, or rebel? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.